In the box, you are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're on the tube, if you're over on the tube side, I'm calling the number on screen 737-295-5321. Or if you are a Trump supporter who does not regret your vote, you think he's doing a fantastic job, you think he's just the bee's knees or something all of us libs are missing, you may request up in the box as well. I can give you several reasons as to why you're wrong. So this, what I'm about to show you, isn't new, but it's actually new to me, and I wanted to go over it with you guys. It's Mike Johnson. He's been touting around for the last couple of years now something he calls the 7 pillars or 7 core principles of conservatism or American conservatism, and I wanted to see what you guys' positions on them because I think it's fascinating. Hold on, let me start this up. Let me put it over here. I think YouTube should get this. Yes. And here we go.
What is the Republican Party? What is American conservatism? What is the Republican Party? It's individual freedom, limited government, the rule of law, peace through strength, fiscal responsibility, free markets, and human dignity. I don't ask much more of anybody, but you got to hold the core principles that made us the greatest nation in the history of the world. I never ask anybody to violate a core principle, but they have to. You have to give up on some of your personal preferences sometimes because you're in a deliberative body and you have 434 colleagues, okay, other people. So that's the message. It's nothing more than that. The president has the strongest endorsement in the history of politics, as I mentioned, but we don't demand loyalty to the president. What I demand as Speaker of the House is loyalty to our core principles, the principles of our party, which are the principles of America, and that's what we're standing for.
Are we trolling? Is that what we're doing now? Has the Republican Party been reduced to a bunch of trolls? What do you mean limited government? What do you mean human dignity? What do you mean freedom of speech? Are we trolling the rule of law? We've got to be trolling. We have got to be trolling. And again, he's been touting this around from as early as I found 2018, 2019. I just could not believe my ears when he said that. Could not believe it. You want to talk about the rule of law? Let's talk about the rule of law. Appeals court says Trump can't impose restrictions on mail-in voting for now. Yes, the Trump administration, you guys know, has been putting out an attack on mail-in voting under the guise of election integrity and trying to secure it because they believe mass amounts of fraud is taking place through said ballots. Despite that, they've been unable to substantiate any type of evidence to support the claim, especially in light of the 2020 festival being stolen from him. But thankfully, the rule of law is actually applying, but not due to the Trump administration, due to our courts doing the work. Federal appeal court has rejected the Trump administration's attempt to implement an executive order restricting mail-in voting ahead of the midterm elections. The First Circuit Court of Appeals in Boston on Saturday kept in place an order that blocked the proposed changes to mail-in votings in the 23 states that sued over the executive orders. Take a wild guess where the states lean. The 23 states that sued, take a wild guess. Under the Constitution, state and local officials are responsible for administering federal elections, the court said in a 2-1 decision. Donald Trump is trying to federalize the government so he has executive power over it and who he can exclude from participating. Considering who he's been calling the enemy within and the radical left, I don't think that's a good thing. We just had the admittance in a court in the lawsuit. We just had people admitting that Donald Trump intentionally cut benefits to states that voted for Kamala Harris, political persecution. And now we're going to have him control the ballots, the time they go out, who gets them, so on and so forth. This is how you rig an election. This is how you rig an election. So with that being said, rule of law is a joke. Human dignity, I don't even need to go on about that one. I really don't need to go on about that one. I hate it here, bro. I hate it here. Here's another funny clip I wanted to go over, and this is specifically happening, or Donald Trump's White House Correspondents' Dinner. How many of you guys saw the Correspondent Dinner? How many of you guys saw it? I'm curious. I didn't watch it. But I definitely have some clips. I feel like only Republicans really go and watch his full events, and like obviously news reporters and whatnot, because what's the point, right? Most of the time he's citing the same stuff. Was that where he said 2028? If I'm not mistaken, yes. I believe he said he wanted to go run for 2028 again, which is nothing new. He's been saying this time and time again. It's expected from him. These people don't know or respect the Constitution. So, of course, he would want to run for a third term. Of course. Of course. But this is his comments that he had about James Tallarico. And I'm going to actually be rubbing this in Trump supporters' faces here in the state of Texas. I'm going to be rubbing this in their faces, y'all, because it's so good. This is what he said.
Candidate named James Tallarico, who hates guns, hates oil, hates sex, hates women, and who said he is, quote, a Christian who hates Christianity. Other than that, I think his platform is quite good. And that means that he's not going to do very well against Ken Paxton, who hopefully in Texas is going to win.
How does one say he hates this, hates that, which is ridiculous because it's personal business, right? If that's your argument, that is his personal life. He hates all of these things. Other than that, hold on. I want to go back and play his words. This is his words.
He's alpha. You know what he looks like to me? Other than that, I think his platform is quite good.
Other than that, I think his platform is quite good. I just want to make sure we're all listening to the same video here. Other than that, I think his platform is quite good. Let's go over James Tallarico's platform. Expansion of healthcare, Medicare for all, right? Justice and equal civil rights, specifically for the trans community. Literally where they got the whole James Tallarico nickname from. Border security, immigration reform, hit the U.S.-Mexico border. He said that he wants us to be an open mat, a big open mat with a locked door. Not very different from what Kamala Harris is running on in the form of S4361. And he is vehemently against the taxation or the big tax cuts for the corporations that Donald Trump is so gung-ho about. So I just thought that was interesting. Donald Trump himself says his policies are good and only has nitpicks about his personal life, all of which is wrong. I don't know how James Tallarico can hate sex. Dude has a girlfriend. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Hector, the other than that line was a joke. Yeah. He definitely doesn't know much about his policies. But also, this is Trump we're talking about. Oftentimes his scapegoat is, I'm joking, he was joking. He didn't know what he's saying, just a troll, which is an insult in and of itself because we shouldn't have the president of the United States trolling on behalf of the American people. I think our lives are serious, our economy is serious, all the things that we take seriously, all our political issues, very serious stuff. There is that. However, no one really knows when Donald Trump is joking anymore. It has to be like blatant for you to say he's clearly joking, and in which it's still a scapegoat for a lot of people. When Donald Trump said grab him by the ussy, they literally said he was joking about that. They said he was joking about that when he said those words. Shit was batshit. Shit was batshit. Any case, Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, and call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. I don't think he knows when he's joking. Yeah, that's that's true. That's true. I feel like most of what he says is one and the same, to be honest with you. I don't allow that one to slide when they always go, well, this was clearly a joke. Well, one, he's not funny. His accents are funny. His mannerisms are funny. How nonsensical he is funny. 6,000%. I think Trump is the joke. Trump doesn't joke. He is the joke. That's the difference. Damn, it's crazy. Literally. He's always joking except when he's serious, and MAGA are the only ones that knows which is which. Yeah. Hey, user, you can stop asking me if I'm debating when there's a whole request box that you can hit.
Hello?
Do you see it or do you not?
Excuse me?
Mark, did you vote for Trump?
I did vote for Trump, sir.
And do you regret your vote?
Not really.
Why is that?
Well, I think he's doing a really good job was the border situation. And I think his policies are really good when it comes to the tariffs.
Okay.
And I'm really glad he got us out of the Paris Accord agreement because that was just a waste of money. And I'm really glad that he's not paying as much into NATO as previous presidents. Because why are we, as in America, supporting other countries that hate us?
The president doesn't pay into NATO.
He
Also,
got us out of
NATO doesn't
pain.
hate us. I don't know what you're
They do
talking
hate us.
about.
They use us. It's like a chick using you for for money.
How does
You
NATO
know,
hate the
you're,
United States?
they like to talk smack. They you got Paris over here blaming us for their problems was the heat, and they're blaming us. And China's right next to you guys, and India's right next to you. Why are you guys
Okay,
blaming America
heat. I
for
don't know
your
what
heat
you're
wave?
talking about in that
They
regard. It's
they blamed
probably
America for the
reference
heat
to
wave.
climate change. Also,
Climate
once
change.
again,
You mean
I don't know
global
what
warming?
problems that NATO is blaming us for. I'm. I need you to articulate that. How they hate
I'm trying
us.
to articulate that. I'm saying they're using us. It's like a chick that has a contact that
How
says
are they
free dinner.
using us?
Just like how girls use you for free
How are they
dinner.
How are they
That's
using the
just
United
a perfect
States?
metaphor because
How are
they
they
claim they have
using
free
the United
Medicare, free
States?
this and that. We're over here providing.
Simple questions require simple answers. I know you probably didn't see your therapy this week. It's early. Maybe you have it's scheduled for
You make
Wednesday.
so many.
But up here, you answer questions and we engage in a
There's no
conversation
need for the
and
sad.
or debate. I just need you
There's
to
no
answer my
need for
question. You
sad.
said NATO's using
I'm
us.
trying to
Please
answer. I'm
articulate.
trying to answer.
How?
I'm trying to articulate.
How?
Look, so I know it's hot in your room because you have a hat on.
Trump supporters request up in the box you, the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, we call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. You guys really need to seek some therapy. I'm not in. I'm not the one. I don't know what your username is. Did you vote for Trump?
Yes,
And do you regret your vote?
absolutely.
Why is that?
Everything. Nobody's living. Everybody has a terrible, terrible economic stance right now. Also, their whole Israel thing. Why wouldn't I regret my vote?
Well, the question is, why wouldn't you? I was just curious, is particularly why you did. So all of these things that's taking place right now, I imagine you didn't think it was going to happen when you voted for him in 2020, or excuse me,
Correct.
2024. So you said the whole thing with Israel. I'm curious. Donald Trump ran off of supporting Israel unapologetically on 2024. So what made you change your tune now if that was something you would have been voted for on the trail, campaign trail?
He actually said numerous times that we won't go to war. That he's going to keep us out of war.
That's separate from the Israel rhetoric, though. But yes, he did boldface lie on that, which it was expected when he renamed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. But specifically with Israel, you said you didn't like the situation with Israel, which is in regards to our funding, I guess taking their intelligence over Iran. These are things he ran off of.
Well, no, mine was the whole war. He didn't want to go to war. He didn't support that. I didn't support that either.
He actually never said he didn't support a war in Iran, I guess, on the 2024 campaign trail. If anything, his rhetoric indicated that he was going to do something about the lies that they've been telling in uranium enrichment. However, here we are. Despite the one he straight up started, there's also ones he almost started or instigated. Thankfully, Venezuela was not so bad. However, we did kill a bunch of them. The threats to Greenland and taking over that region. So there's that. I guess the point I'm
Yes.
trying to get to is I'm always baffled as to what made you guys believe that he was the president of quote unquote no wars when it was many times previous generals that stopped him from starting one.
I probably wasn't as educated as I should be, and I will admit that. And I'm also conservative. That was a big part of it. Um, and the whole housing crisis, he said he would fix that. It's actually gotten worse. Um, there was many things.
So what are we doing about it now?
I'm educating myself. I don't need anybody to educate me. I have libraries and books. I can educate myself. I just didn't do that before.
Chat's bringing out a good point. The Trump administration, I would argue, is far from conservative, or at least, I guess, a reasonable degree of conservative. I would say, if anything, they've gone far right. But educating yourself is one thing, but stopping the powers or the full strength of this administration is what can be curbed with your vote. We have a
Yeah,
2026 midterm elections coming. I'm sure there's going to be candidates up and down your ballot. that you can vote for. Anyone who doesn't identify as a MAGA is probably the person that would be worth a damn. The ones who will actually lower the cost of homes, do something about immigration, fix healthcare, bring down the cost of groceries. That should be the person you would vote for on your ballot.
Well, I get that, but that's also things that Trump said. So I don't believe any of them. Not
Yeah.
any of, I don't believe anybody right now.
The difference is Donald Trump is a pathological liar who is
And
recorded
how
to
do I know
tell
these other people
the
aren't?
most lies in presidential history. His history, his personal life and his history, how he handled his businesses was a clear indicator of exactly what he'd do in the Oval Office. He did so in the first term, and he's doing so again in the second. There's other candidates who we would inspect from birth to now, and we can see that their core values are very much aligned in their policies and practices, versus the Trump administration shown to be monumental grifters.
And I won't accept anybody that gets paid through Israel or really anybody, any other foreign country
There's plenty
that I
candidates.
know now.
There's plenty candidates on the ballot that do not take APAC funding.
Not just APAC.
Yeah,
But yeah.
sure, but that large portion of it is APAC. There's also other super PACs you should probably be worried about. APAC isn't
Right.
the only one. The ones
Right,
lobbying
that's
against
what I
healthcare,
said.
the ones lobbying against actual passing legislation to lower the cost of homes, the ones lobbying against, let's say, the pharmaceutical industry. You should probably think about all of those.
Right,
What
and
state are
that's
you in?
pretty hard to find.
If you don't mind me asking,
Mm-hmm.
what state are you in?
Oklahoma, of course.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Do you
of
know who your
course.
senators are?
Not really.
And your governor?
Kevin Stint.
Okay. I think you should probably know who your officials are. Do you know who's over your district? Don't tell us because that'll be doxing yourself.
I do. I actually am tribal member, so I know who's over our city and our tribe.
Okay. If you actually want to take action against, let's say, cleaning up after your 2024 vote and or moving the country towards the direction that you wanted, which was no wars, lower prices, freedom of speech, you should look at the candidates.
Affordable housing. Yeah.
Yeah, you should look at the candidates that are running off those things. You should ensure that their history aligns with that policy. And at minimum, if they are not able to do it, because Congress is a body, your senators have to work with other people, then they will consistently strive to do so.
I hope you're right. I don't trust any of them, but I do hope you're right.
Yeah, it's not about trust. It's not about trust. I think when people show you who they are, you believe them.
Yeah.
So you look for the
I
person who
agree.
is who they say they are. They would have a record that we can use, that we can vet. This is the we always have this issue.
Right, but
with,
anybody could be bought, and that's
sure,
also an
anyone and
issue.
everyone could be bought.
Right.
Your husband can cheat on you. That doesn't stop you from marrying him. Your job could fire you randomly. Doesn't stop you from needing it. Your car could break down, but didn't stop you from buying a car. Anything can happen. We don't worry about that. We worry about what we can verify, what we can, control what you can. Don't worry about what you can't. Put your best foot forward and hope for the best. That's all we can do.
I hear you.
Appreciate you coming up.
No problem.
Yeah. No more excuses, y'all. No more excuses. We got far too many people who feel disenfranchised because of their vote for Trump, and then they think that's a reason to throw it all away. It's not. It's not. The person who wasn't a grifter, the person who didn't lie about the 2020 festival results, about him raping a woman, about paying off his workers, all these different things, we can go for that guy, that person, that woman. Just vote for them. Just switch. Just switch. Just switch. Any type of belief system that leads you to go, well, I'm just done with everyone. That's just you not wanting to actually hold yourself accountable, not only for low research or not doing your due diligence, but essentially, I think it's also due to a hesitation of voting for someone who may not align with your ideology. Friendly reminder: the conservative ideology and position, and then Republican are two different things. Right? There's ideology and then there's party. You can be a conservative and then you can vote for the Democratic politician because the Democratic politician has the better policies that will impact you in a positive way. Your conservatism should not stop you from voting Democrat. No different from how my, you say liberalism, leftist, whatever, would not stop me from voting for the right conservative. Granted, in today's day and age, there's no such conservative, I would argue, unless it's Curtis Lewa. I like Curtis Lewa. Curtis Lewa is dope. I said what I said. Curtis Lewa is dope.
From
D.
Calling on the line, did you vote for Trump?
I did not. But I am curious about what you think about third parties.
What do I think about third party?
Yeah.
I think they've never won an election. I think their chances are slim. I think they only show up every presidential election and don't do any due diligence to build up the party in between. So until they're an actual viable option, which means until they put in the work, that third party doesn't exist to me. Unless it's on the local level.
What about PSL? What about Green Party? I mean, you're talking about.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
Advocate for
none of those people are relevant to our political process. None of those people have the chance in hell of getting the right votes, especially with the electoral college.
Kasama Sawan, literally everything that you're saying is true about.
What's the highest percentage? What's the highest percentage that a third party candidate has been able to get of the vote in any election? What's the highest percentage? Do you know?
What you're saying is self-fulfilling prophecy.
That's not answering my question. You're not answering my question. What's the highest percentage?
What is the point of that? If
I'll tell you the point.
Media
you know your viability. Knowing your viable options is the point.
Everything that you're saying
what's
is
the
true
highest
of
percentage?
Sanders, AOC, and every other.
What's your highest percentage?
That has been elected. Literally the same exact thing that you're talking about, Zara Mamdani. It's true. Like everything that you're saying.
I didn't say a single thing about Zohran Mamdani. Hey, are you talking to me or are you talking to your mind? Zohran Mamdani never came out of my mouth.
I'm talking to you. What I said.
Okay, I need you to track.
Everything you're claiming about potential viability.
Hey, here's what's gonna happen. You didn't answer my question yet. And now you're rambling. You're doing this thing called yap. I don't like yappers. I need you to answer a question. What's the highest percentage third-party candidates have gotten in a presidential election? Do you know or do you not?
The last time was.
Do you know or do you not? Do you know or do you not?
What I'm telling you.
You don't know. Okay. I'll tell you. No more than maybe now 4%, 3.4, 3.6%. They were barely able to get 4% of the votes.
Okay.
And while sentiments on social media sounds really good, these people only pop up every 4 years and don't put enough work on the ground in between to actually be a viable option. Until they're a viable option, they are not relevant in political conversations on the presidential level. Local level, sure, by all means, they have a better chance. But this conversation, if you haven't noticed, says defend the indefensible. Trump supporters regret your vote. If you're not a Trump supporter, I'm not going to sit up here and talk to you about Jill fucking Stein.
I'm talking about Kashama Sawant.
I don't give a fuck about any of these people. They don't have a chance in hell on the presidential level.
You're a phony leftist, you're a grifter.
I'm a grifter. Yes, absolutely. I'm a grifter for looking at the harm that the Trump administration has caused, seeing the people that are dead, the people who've lost their healthcare, premiums skyrocketed, the people suffering with inflation, the people's jobs being taken by unregulated AI, and I'm a hypocrite for saying, versus feeling how I feel and voting for the person who's saying all the right things, I'm going to vote for the person who actually has the power and capabilities to do what's necessary. You literally haven't shut the fuck up this entire time. You've been rambling this entire time. This is my problem with you third-party numbskulls. You guys just like to feel a certain way. You like to profess this fake sense of bullshit morality, but ultimately you're the reason why people are dying and being more harmed because you don't understand the simple context of harm reduction. So what I want you to do is actually educate yourself on politics or do a backflip off a balcony. Trump supporters request up in the box. You, the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. That's how we handle third-party Green Party fucks today. Every day, really. That's how we handle them. You can name all the people in the party. Good for you. What are they doing? How are they helping anyone? Are they putting in work or are they yapping? Why the fuck would you call back? Why the fuck would you call back? Call back again, get blocked. The fuck? You guys love to have your voice. What's my position on this? My position is on what matters. The Trump administration and the Democrats who are on the ballot and the Democratic Socialists on the ballot this midterm election who actually get into positions of power to curb their destruction. Not your Green Party fucks. W's in the chat to the One Mighty Pen. Thank you so much to One Mighty Pen for sending out the 5 memberships over on the YouTube side and to the 5 new DEIA subscribers or members. I appreciate y'all. Please make sure you check out your perks. Please make sure you check out your perks. Voting works, otherwise it wouldn't try and tamper. No. He wasn't arguing against voting working. He was just arguing to vote for third party. What are we doing? Third party sounds great. I was a person who's going to vote for what's her name in 2024. Marianne Williamson. I loved Marianne Williamson. I thought her policy was perfect. The average third party candidate, their website, their platform is going to be infinitely more relatable to the left than any Democrat. 6,000%. You know what the problem is? They don't put in the work in between. They don't have the capital. They don't understand that in order for them to have a chance in hell, we would have to abolish the electoral college. We'd have to implement ranked choice voting. So then it isn't just backed by big parties and super PACs. We can just have someone grassroots funded go off the merits of their campaign. The way you get closer to third party candidates having a chance in hell is voting Democratic, is voting for the progressives in said party. I need you guys to understand this. You can whine and cry and everything this. The way to get to third party candidates having a chance in hell on the ballot is by voting Democratic, because the Democratic Party is where the DSAs are, the progressives are, that are actually against the Electoral College and other systems that primarily consolidates power to the Democratic and Republican Party. It is simple as that. It is simple as that. Any case, guys, continue to double tap the screen. Let's get the likes up to 100K and beyond. Please show the algorithm that you want to be here. Share out the live with your friends and family as well. Repost and add to your story. Send your daily heartbeats if you haven't. And if you can't, hit that follow button in the top left corner and then you'll be able to do so. We are in a new week, so I do want to get the gift gallery cleared as much as we can. Thank you, Zane, for sending in the roses. Please make sure we're checking out my gift gallery in the top left corner and knock out any of the gifts that you can. Knock out any gifts that you can. Those of you on the YouTube side, hit the like button on the stream, subscribe, and turn on notification bells as well. And if you want to support the platform, super chat, super sticker, or consider becoming a member. Links in the bio or the links in the description of the live stream is the best ways to support the platform. Please follow me on all the social medias that I'm on, Hector Talks with 2 R's. Join the Discord community. We're over 700 members strong. By the way, I didn't tag everyone yet, but we are going to do the Sister Act in the Discord Wednesday at 7 or 7:30. I'll tag everyone later. But the Sister Act we will be knocking out in the Discord Wednesday. And I think we're going to do the Sister Act Part 2 or the second one Thursday night. I know I keep saying we're going to do it. I'm scheduling it. We're going to do it Wednesday. Wednesday night, I promise you. Check out the merch shop to get all the pieces of merch that you would like. HectorShops.com with 2 R's if you'd like to be a loud lib like me. And then finally, direct donations to the Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo. Also, don't be like Jeepers Creepers Stein showing up every election year. It's bigger than Stein. She's one of the most egregious examples, sure, but it's so much bigger than Stein. Some of these people are doing nothing but book tours and criticisms all the way up until the election. Then they throw their hat in the ring and complain when they lose and when they don't get enough of a voting base. How are you working with other parties to build them up? All these fractions is not helping Green Party candidates. I don't know. I have a thing about people who talk about Green Party fucks as if they're just like the bee's knees. They're really not good at strategizing. They don't have the capital. And ultimately, in so many ways, they are selfish as shit. They are selfish as shit. What? Deal voting metrics just now have farmers. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. But yeah, ranked choice voting, y'all. You know how we got Zoran Mamdani? Ranked choice voting. If you like him, if you like his policies, if you think he's moving the country or New York City for a start and then the country by default forward or more left, then we have to get that expanded on the federal level. It's as simple as that. Some of y'all thinking too small. You got to think big. Some of y'all thinking too small. You got to start thinking big. I do want to go over this story with you guys. Trump holds off on major escalation against Iran as advisors raise concerns. Among the worries is that expanded hostilities could dangerously drain the diminished stockpile of air defense munitions in the Middle East. Remember when the reports came out that showed we were like over 50 something percent depleted some of our weapons? Remember that one? Remember when they denied it to hell? Oops, looks like it's almost confirmed again. President Trump has set aside, at least for now, plans to sharply escalate the American military assault against Iran, with particular concern that intensifying the war could dangerously drain the Pentagon's already diminished stockpile of Patriot anti-missile interceptions and other air defense munitions in the Middle East. The threat to interceptor stockpiles is one of many considerations that they have made a return to major combat operations, a hugely risky endeavor, administration officials say. Mr. Trump and his top aides are also uneasy about the prospect of a widening war in the Middle East, the alienation of key Gulf allies who are vulnerable to Iranian attack, a global economic crunch, and growing energy and refugee crisis. The latest turn in Mr. Trump's handling of the conflict with Iran came after a meeting on Friday with top advisors and senior members of his cabinet, according to two people briefed on the discussion. The private deliberations have focused on the Pentagon's shrinking inventory of Patriot interceptors and other air defenses, the officials said, discussing operational matters on the condition of anonymity. 3 U.S. soldiers in Jordan were killed last Friday when a ballistic missile slipped through American air defenses, fending off a barrage of Iranian missiles and drones, a senior U.S. official said. I find it interesting how many Americans that died weren't an incentive for Trump to curb his actions in Iran. But we're losing our missiles, and that's going to look bad, and now we're going to actually take some real action. Yikes. 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 I thought Donald Trump was revitalizing our military. I thought it was the strongest and best that we've had before. How in the world were you able, within almost 6 months now, to drain half of our stockpile in one country? One country. Well, predominantly one country, I should say. That's insane. That's insane. Trump saved TikTok. Every time you guys say that, I just want proof. Every time you guys say that, I just want proof. I love that tone that you keep the tone you guys take with us leftists. Trump saved TikTok. You should be grateful. Why would I be? Why would I be? Shout out to the Joey Raiders. Shout out to the Joey Raiders. Shout out to the Joey Raiders. Appreciate y'all's support. Make sure we're engaging with the engagement. Do all the good things. Double tap, share out, this and that. Trump supporters are a little chicken today. I have been wondering the same thing about the stockpile. Thank you so much, Jonna, for a member of 2 months. Thank you guys so much for your memberships over there. She said, I've been wondering the same thing about the stockpile. Yeah, we're not doing good. We're not doing good. How much was our stockpile depleted under Joe Biden? I'm curious. For all the smoke you guys have for him, let's go over the numbers. How much was our stockpile depleted under Joe Biden? I have questions. I have questions. I have questions. Because they keep saying we were in a war under Biden, right? They keep thinking that we were literally out here just striking the hell out of people in in Ukraine. Ukraine? Yes, that is correct. We had a full stockpile then. A full stockpile. Anyway, we have our next guest. Armani, did you vote for Trump?
I didn't. I hope you having a good day, gang.
You didn't?
I didn't. I'm saying I just saw you on live, and I wanted to spread some black joy. I hope you're doing great, and that these other people who are doing so not good. So yeah.
You know what? We're about the black joy over here. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, gang.
That'll be the last one, though. I appreciate y'all. We're about spreading black joy, 6,000%. But please try to only request up if you are a Trump supporter. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you do not meet those demographics, please stay out of the request. But shout out to the Black Joy Boys. Shout out to the Black Joy Boys. I appreciate you. General Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, has cautioned privately that resuming major combat operations against Iran was doable, but that it would dangerously deplete interceptors available to the military's Central Command, which is responsible for operations in the Middle East, the official said. A spokesman for General Kane declined to comment on advice the general gives the president. Of course he did. Stephen Chung, the White House communications director, said that the president has always been consistent in saying he prefers a diplomatic solution, but he continues to retain all options if Iran continues terrorist activities in the Strait of Hormuz or against allies. Here's the reason why that doesn't work. You can't say that you are always preferring and looking for the diplomatic solution when you threw it out the window. You can't say you prefer the diplomatic option when you threw it out the window. That is a bold-faced lie. That is media crap that you feed them to get them off your back. In private, we know exactly what the Trump administration was on. We knew that on the 28th. When we had the confirmed reports of the 26th, I will never forget this because I had Trump supporters telling me Donald Trump is negotiating with Iran and his power and ability is going to be able to get a deal. 2 days later, we were blowing them up. 2 days later, he said, Donald Trump, we've been planning this for months. It was literally his plan to bomb them. It was his plan to start that war. He knew the impact. He knew it was going to jack up your gas prices in many places back to over $4 a gallon. He knew that it was going to jack up inflation that will literally outpace your wage growth. He knew that was going to deplete our military. Or I won't even say he knew that part. I think he was just stupid and reckless and just trying to nip it in the bud immediately. And then they may have just overkilled. It's kind of like when you're racing, when you're like jogging, we'll say racing, whatever. And you got the guy who puts his all in at the first sprint. And then he's fucking worn out for the rest of the race. That's what the Trump administration did. That's why our military is seeing the stockpile decline. Because he thought we just bomb, we'll take them out. There's a reason why Democratic administrations previously who looked at the situation in the region were smarter about their tactics. They were smarter about their negotiation capabilities, which is why we had the JCPOA. The Trump administration doesn't know how to negotiate. They don't. They don't. They absolutely don't. 40 million runner who sprints the first 100 then gets past the rest of the race? Literally, Phil. Literally, Phil. Hey, guys. So I want to take a second to talk about Vector down there. All right. So Vector down in the comments is, I don't know. You know what? Let's do a poll. I won't do a poll. I'll just ask the question. I'm starting to believe that Trump supporters have a humiliation kink. I'm dead serious. I'm like, there's the jokes that I make, there's the legitimate jokes that I make, and then there's me being dead fucking serious. I'm starting to believe that Trump supporters have a degradation kink, humiliation kink. And the reason why I say that is because Vector here is actually the guy I spent a couple hours on editing a video clip of. Vector here was arguing against Donald Trump's 2020, election integrity address that he did the other day, the emergency broadcast. Vector here made some claims. Vector here got dog walked. Vector here is getting dog walked in 1080p by myself, by Erica, and by Nemo in my latest video. And Vector still keeps coming back. You know what's worse about him? He sent his daily heart me's. He is following me. So Vector, why do you like getting dog walked by me? I'm curious.
Hey, I don't see it that way, honestly. I felt like you got dog walked, if you want to put it in that way.
Yeah. You guys say a lot of
And your analogy that you put out just earlier was super good about Trump running out of bombs, or how'd you feel about Trump's emergency address to the nation that 4 major networks did not want to broadcast and its claim?
Okay. That voice sound familiar?
But look at the DNC. They're out of money, bro.
Did that voice sound familiar? That voice I just played, did that sound familiar?
Bro. Hey, you
Did
can't
that
even
voice sound
fund the
familiar?
midterms, bro.
I just wanted you to tell me if that voice sounded familiar.
How you feeling about the DNC news?
Yeah, yeah. That's what
And
I thought.
apparently Obama
Hey,
owes contractors millions of
did you delete
dollars.
your comments on my video?
I never commented on your video.
Yes, you did. You literally did. He was just on my second to last video. You commented under it.
Oh, well, I didn't delete it.
You didn't delete him? Hold on. Or are they just community flagged? Oh, I found them. Yeah, remember when you went under my video and you posted you posted a screenshot of the last person's claim, the person who tried to say that taxpayers fund uninsured motorist car accidents. You went under my video and you put a screenshot that does not support anything that he said. This person alleged that over 5.5 million undocumented migrant drivers were driving up the cost of insurance and everything else in the state. And then they were never able to prove that it was 5.5 million. You posted a screenshot verifying the number of uninsured drivers and not the number of undocumented migrant drivers. I was curious as to if you had a comprehension problem you wanted to share with the class. Oh, he left. He left. Degradation kink. Literally what I said. Degradation kink. So this doesn't happen often. This does not happen often. But every now and then, well, to be fair, TikTok has been suppressing the hell out of my videos. I used to get more comments, but every now and then I'll have a Trump supporter comment under my videos trying to debunk something that I put in there. And let me tell you guys something about my video. There's things that I'm really, really like confident in. There's things that I'm like, okay, I could be better. There's other things where I'll call in phone a friend, and there's things I'm really good at. And I make really, really accurate fucking videos. I spend hours on my videos, and I make sure that everything that I put up is verified so that no one can have the balls to go under the comment section and say that I'm wrong and put some stupid shit there. Despite that, every now and then, someone has the nerve to challenge me. So Vector was the latest case. And God bless you. He made some claims, none that was substantiated. One of the big ones being Trump supporters not understanding the difference between encounters and crossings. Thank you guys for the gifts. I appreciate you. Encounters and crossings. And then he would then posted a screenshot of encounters when he can't substantiate the amount of crossings that took place under Biden. The shit is really, it's really, really bad. For the most part, when people do comment under my videos, it's something that's completely unrelated to the topic of the video. Or it's some personal insult, because that's the best that they have. It's the best that they have. But, I don't know. I get a kick out of it. I'm upset with Trump, but I'd rather have him in office than Hillary and Kamala? That's embarrassing for you. At least he helps push you out in the algorithm with his heart me's. Yeah. He's good for something, I guess. It's good for something, I guess. Engagement is engagement. Whether it's slurs, engagement is engagement. Don't slur, though. W's in the chat to Wesley for the $5 super chat. Hi, Hector. Much love as always. What's going on, Wesley? Hope you're doing well. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. No, Gracie's not coming up in the box. Guys, we are literally in the chicken shit side of the algorithm. We are on the days where they have more chirp than they actually have, I don't know, reason. Happens every now and then. I don't think it's getting easier for Trump supporters to look at the average leftist, the average creator who's doing what I do here, and actually have any solid position. The people that are still going panel to panel, literally arguing the exact same things, are Joe Biden's mental decline. You can't use that one anymore because Donald Trump has shown clear signs of mental decline. That Montreal test he keeps bragging that he takes in aces with flying colors. Why do you have to take that 3 times in 1 year? 3 times last year, or 4. Was it 3 or 4 times last year he took that test? If you're so competent, if you're so able-bodied, why do you have to take that test so much? They can't run off of Joe Biden supported a war, which, again, we were just helping an ally, because Donald Trump literally started a war. You can't possibly go off of inflation, because now we're seeing inflation hit some of those numbers that were complained about initially, we'll say 2021 to early 2022. Obviously, 2022 got pretty bad. None of those arguments fall flat. Healthcare is expensive. It's because of Biden's green energy policies. Well, Trump pulled us out of deals. He cut grants to all that green energy, passed a big beautiful bill, and for some reason your energy costs are still going up. All of these things and more. All of these things and more. So that's why it's like, that's why we're hearing more of them, like the first lady that we were speaking to, saying, I just don't believe any of them. I just won't vote for any of them. God bless you. Because that's their fallback. When we can't defend Trump anymore, we're just going to say we don't trust the entire system. Mind you, the system was working, and hold on, let me make sure I'm wording this right. The system was working better before. I'm not going to say it was perfect. The system was working better before. When these people were in these positions, it seemed like things worked. Slowly but surely, but it seemed like things worked. Now all of a sudden, everything's gone to the crapper, with one man, one common denominator to blame. I wish more of you guys would be so honest about the fact that Donald Trump should have never gotten near the Oval Office. Never near it. The fact that he got 77 million votes really should scare a lot of us shitless. Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. John, did you vote for Trump?
Andrew Wilson destroyed you. Just saying.
Dude, go drink a fucking Sunny D. What are you kids doing here? Go get you a Capri Sun. Isn't Fortnite having a tournament? What are we doing? Ew, why are fucking kids watching Andrew Wilson? Bro. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Republicans are the worst parents. Republicans are the worst parents, bro. Y'all kids be anywhere and everywhere. Republicans are fucking terrible parents. All this talk about protecting your kids from the woke, liberal, radical mob, and you don't have a child's lock on your kids' fucking phones. That actually baffles me, how many kids will circulate these lives. And I'm like, I thought y'all were all about protecting your kids. You send them to public school and you worried about what they may read in the library, but then you give them the super device, this super computer, that they can pull up everything that you guys are taking out of libraries and read the shit anyway. They are literally more scared of a gay couple than the supercomputers in our hands that you can use to look up corn, you can use to look up very dark shit. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. That's always baffled me. Like, I growing up in the Christian household that I did, my mother did, to be fair, my mom did try to take my brother and I's phones away from us a lot. Like, she hated the idea of us having phones to begin with. However, she was so worried about us going to a party with our friends. She hated that. Like, no, you're not going out with them, blah, blah, blah. But then we would just sit at home and be on Kick talking to fucking grown-ass adults on, what's the name of that app? What's the name of that app, guys? That website you can go to and, like, randomly, like, video cam people and talk to people? Omegle? Omegle's one of them. Omegle. Yeah. Worried about your teenager hanging out with other teenagers, but these motherfuckers are talking to predators on fucking Omegle. Shit's crazy. Shit's crazy, bro. I don't know how y'all do it. Chat rooms kicking so many other places. See, you was one of them wild children. Yep, you was one of those wild children. The difference was, like, some parents, they basically somewhat know that their kids are doing things, but they trust them to regulate it. Conservative parents just literally turn they put blinders on. They put blinders off to what their kids do online. They're more concerned with their kid being gay than going from black live to black live and slurring. It's fucking weird. I was a sheltered Christian kid. Oh, well, that was basically me. Dang, it must be this generation's AOL chat. Yes, Yarn. Yes, Yarn. We are from two different generations. That's basically what it is. That is basically what it is. Hey, Epic Clips. You got a lot of things to say in the comments there. Just let me give you a motivator, okay? A lot of yap. There's a whole call-in line right there. 737-295-5321. I stand on what I said. Republican parents are shit because they're more concerned about a gay couple than their kids' smartphones. They're more concerned with them having a book in school that teaches them about inclusivity than their kids being racist. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You guys know that thing that people kept saying, what was it? Thought daughter, gay son. You guys remember that? Thought daughter, gay son. You know how much it killed me to listen to men say with their full fucking chest, give me the thought daughter any day of the week? Now, mind you, let me be clear. I'm not sex shaming when it comes to a woman who is sexually active. It's more so the risk that is associated with your activity versus your son just loving who they love. Right? Shit's crazy. Check their computer, 6,000%. Shit's crazy. It was the dumbest thing ever. Dumbest thing ever. The thought of their son being gay, someone's kid being gay, scared them that bad. Wild, dude. Absolutely wild. Oh, yikes. Delete my profile after they match me, my ex-boyfriend? Y'all still doing apps in 2026? Okay. Okay. Well, Trump supporters are chicken shit, bro. The Trump supporters are chicken shit today. So I'm just going to read you guys some more news. Let me make sure I have this saved here. So what I do, well, I do a lot of reading off the bat. And that's why you'll hear me cite some of the things that I cite. However, I have this whole long list of things that I can typically go over in times like this. And I'm going to go ahead and read some of this here for you guys. Actually, no, we're not even going to do that just yet. I have a video I want to play for you guys. And YouTube, I cannot play it for you, or at least you will not be able to see it. So I'm going to put it in. Oliver claims they tried to call in. They did not. They're a liar. The last call was the non-voting Jill Stein dick sucker. That was the last one. When they call in, you guys hear the call. I don't have it muted. So that's how you know. That's how you know. No, he didn't try to call in. Crush, did you vote for Trump?
I did.
And do you regret your vote?
Absolutely not.
Why is that?
No, that's not a discussion I want to have. I want to know what you think of this November. What do you think is going to happen?
You requested up in my live where the topic literally says Trump supporter regret your vote, trying to tell me what conversation
you played this. You guys ask these same questions over and over again because
I ask my questions and you keep requesting up into
you
these
can't
lives
have an actual discussion because you're reading off a list.
Time again.
You're reading off a list.
What list
you
am I
can't
reading
have a real
off of?
discussion. Can
What
you?
list am I reading?
You're not
off
capable of that.
What list am I reading off of?
Right, but below you.
Below
you have
me?
a list of questions.
I have a list in my fucking crotch. Is that what you're saying? Is this where I'm reading my list?
Freestyle for
DNC
nothing.
talking point.
Can you freestyle?
DNC talking point.
Let's talk
tell
about
Trump
November.
supporter he racist.
Let's talk about November.
Tell Trump supporter he brainless. Yeah, is that what I'm reading from my lap?
What's going to happen this November?
What's gonna happen this November? Am I a
Yes.
fucking fortune teller? You
What do
want to
you
have a
think?
conversation with me about
Sure.
seeing into the future?
Sure. Look at the money.
God,
Where-
you
where-
prove the
where's the
point
money
every
at?
single time. What do you
Where's
mean?
the
Where's
money
the
at?
money at? What?
Democrats have a negative of 2 million.
I don't know.
Republicans have 120
I don't
million
know
cash on
anything
hand.
about your negative and your positive. I
Trump
do not
has a-
fucking care.
Trump
what is the
has a
relevance of that?
400 million
What is the
war chest.
relevance of all the money that they have when you see
Because it's called
literally
advertising for
growth is
campaigns.
literally growth in your party? The supporters that you have is wavering. Polling shows time and time again
Absolutely
it's
not.
disfavor for inflation,
Absolutely
less
not.
favor for the war in Iran, less favor for
More
healthcare.
people are-
The polling
have-
that was taken at the beginning of last year
Democrats
and the
have
sentiments that
lost
Republicans have had now
Democrats
have
have
dropped
lost votes.
largely. And the independents, cooked. The special
Really?
election sweep that we saw from last year to now had primarily been Democratic. DSAs are actually getting fucking legs up. The one who just won their primary in what you might call it, DC, over the mayor of DC. Obviously, we can talk about the Mamdani endorsed candidates in New York City, other ones across the country. What the fuck are you talking about?
Generic
oh, by the way,
poll
oh, by the
in
way,
January
oh, by the way,
had Democrats
I'm not
up by
reading from a
10.
script on that one. And you want to talk about funding? Let's talk
Let
about
me
the
speak
Supreme
now. I
Court
let you
ruling that
speak.
just
Let
took
me
place
speak now.
that serves actually the
Generic
Trump
poll
administration
in
and how they want to
January
allocate
had you guys
hundreds
up
of
by
thousands,
10.
if not millions of
In
dollars
May,
to their
you're up
super
by
PACs.
1.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the $31 billion that AIPAC used
Let's
to spend
talk about
against
the
Thomas
latest
Massey
polls
because
that
he
have
called out
Democrats
Trump for
down
being
by
a
9.
pedophile. You want to talk
Let's
about
have
that?
the latest polls
Aw.
of Democrats down by 9.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about
Generic
your
poll in
Democratic
January,
polls, bro.
Democrats were up by 10.
I don't
Okay?
give a shit
in
about
the
your
same
polls,
poll in
my
May,
guy.
You guys were up
Donald
by
Trump
1.
is down significantly on all those metrics that you're mentioning.
Donald Trump isn't running this November, now is he?
My guy, why are you I'm sorry.
In your lifetime.
Oh, okay, got
in
you.
your
Okay,
lifetime,
do
there's
you
never
not
been a
understand that
money
I'm
advantage like
referencing Donald Trump? I'm also referencing the Republicans down the ballot, the people under him. Can you show me a single poll that gives any person in Congress, any Republican in Congress, and any representative in the Senate that has higher pollings from the year previously? Can you show me that?
Like I
you want
said,
to talk about
generic
Democrats
poll
being
in
down?
January had
Democrats
Democrats
are
up
the
by
ones
10.
who are literally going
Now
to
you
take the
guys are
House back
only
in
up by
November.
1.
Democrats are the ones who are taking the House in November. Republicans are the ones who are literally screaming and crying. Mike Johnson himself. We can't
gotta
let
keep
them
talking
win.
over me 'cause
We
you know
can't
you
let
can't
them
win a
win.
debate.
No, I'm going to keep talking over you because you're not even engaging
You
with my
can't-
prompts. So now I'm just having fun with you. It's
You got-
Mike Johnson and the Republican Party saying we absolutely have to win. We have to redistrict. We have to cheat the system because if we don't, we're going to get thrown in jail. Mike Johnson's words. And he ran. And he ran.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
That's what I thought. You just guys have your script. Okay. Okay. The reason why Trump supporters don't want to talk about what a failing president Donald Trump is because then you don't have your got yous. More and more, I'm noticing more and more in these lives, you have Republicans who don't give a shit about Democrats, who will spit on their graves, right? You have Republicans now talking about what about the Democrats? Democrat polling this, Democrat that. What the fuck are we doing talking about Democrats? Democrats aren't in power. Democrats aren't in power. The fuck? Let's talk about who's in power and what a terrible job they're doing. Nihil, did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I'm 30.
What state are you in?
New York.
What time is it in New York?
Oh my God, in 8:10.
Who is the governor of New York City?
I don't know. I know Mandani is
Mamdani?
mayor.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Foreign maggot. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Hold that block. How are you a maggot? How are you a maggot from hundreds of thousands of miles away?
God bless you.
How are you a maggot from way over there? You don't go here, bro. They're desperately afraid of the blue wave in November. Yeah, that's why they want to talk about Democrats. That's why they're sowing discourse amongst Democrats. We had this conversation the other day about Track APAC. That website, Track APAC. No one knows who they are, who they actually align with. What we do know is that they consistently keep putting Democrats up on this list who don't take APAC funding, and because stupid fucking leftists don't read, they believe it. And then they say, this person's this person that. They just put James Tallarico up there. James fucking Tallarico, never a dime from APAC money, but they put him up on the listing, and they can't even prove it in their fine print. You have so many of these entities that are right-leaning, that are being controlled by the GOP, but they're actively trying to sow discourse amongst the Democratic Party and people aligned with the left, so that way we don't focus on them. That's their tactic. We can't win. Our popularity is down. Our policies are down. Everything is down. We can't win unless we make the left so mad at themselves that they don't look at what we're doing. That's what happened in 2024. You guys were so mad about Gaza, justifiably, but you guys were so mad about Gaza that we let someone like Donald Trump creep in, that we let the Republican Party control the narrative on so many popular things. Faith, finances, healthcare. Dude did not have a healthcare plan. Got up on the debate stage and said, I have concepts of a plan. And y'all still sat out.
God bless you.
People still sat out. I literally had a person tell me that they did not vote in the 2024 election because they swore that Kamala Harris had it in the bag. Could you fucking imagine? Can you imagine looking at the likes of Trump on the ballot and saying, oh, Kamala's going to beat him. I'm not going to vote. The way I have to stop myself from calling people names. The way I have to stop myself from calling people names. I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. Hey, BG, please come up here and tell me how I'm being racist towards white people. Hold that mute. Come up here. You can't come up. Call in the number on screen here. Tell me how I'm being racist towards white people. What are we doing? Yeah, they did do the same thing with Hillary. Put a woman up again. We're going to see some of the same shit. Because people don't learn. Because people do not learn. It makes me sad to think people voted for a guy who used Democrats as seriously. Yeah. 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 Because of whatever that guy said, we just got a misinformation flag. Boo. Anyways. Oh, I see your message, John. U.S. weapons stockpiles are heavily strained by prior transfers to Ukraine regional Middle East conflicts under Joe Biden. Well, yeah, that was because of whatchamacallit. October 7th. Further depleted by intense expenditures during the ongoing war with Iran under Donald Trump and faced severe production bottlenecks requiring years to fully rebuild. What's the one estimate for, is it Patriot missiles? We won't get those back until 2029? If I'm not mistaken. I think it's 2029 is when we're going to be able to get those missiles back. And several other weapons. It's going to be years before we get it back. Literally leaving the United States open to anything.
God bless you.
I don't see how that's making us great. I don't see how that's making us safer. Patriot missiles either 28 or 29. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought it was 29. One of those years for sure. Just saying, Tomahawks may be a whole different story. They're still denying that we blew up a school. They're still denying that we killed over 160 Iranian school children. And there is something that I heard. In fact, I'm going to double check this really quickly. I heard something about the children, the girls that went to that school, being like the daughters and nieces of some of the IRGC generals and whatnot. That's what I heard. And some people were alleging that that attack may not even have been a mistake because of old intelligence, but have been because of to spite them, to hit them where it hurts. That's crazy. That's a lie. You believe anything? Oh, they already muted you. That works. You guys always say that I'm lying. Tell me how I'm lying. You guys always say that I'm lying. Prove that I'm lying. But I will say this. Could it be that maybe some of those generals had children who went to that school? Yes. I think in a way, we're giving the Trump administration, we're giving Hegseth too much credit. What I mean by that is Hegseth is stupid enough to use over a decades old intelligence of what was in that vicinity and choose to bomb it. Hegseth is absolutely that stupid. I would literally say he's definitely cruel enough, but I don't think he's even smart enough to think about attacking that school if those girls were belong to some of those generals. I don't think he's even smart enough to think about that. He is just that stupid. And double tapping. Exactly. There's so many things that happens under the Trump administration that we just summarize as this was the goal and this was the idea, even if it doesn't work out. No, they're literally grasping at straws. Donald Trump's tariff policy, I think they're grasping at straws. Now we're trying to do it under Section 232. He has no idea what he's doing. And that was the basis of his campaign. He was supposed to use tariff revenue to replace a large portion of taxes, right? To be able to fund some of the tax cuts that were given to the 1% under the big, beautiful bill. But he keeps failing and failing and failing and failing and failing. He's going to keep trying again. He's going to make up stuff at this point. Recent reason, Canada's wildfires. They should pay us for their damage. What? But I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't intel and request from. Yeah, that's always an option, Phil. That's always an option. Literally, their whole reason we're there is because of Israel, basically. And actually, I'm not even going to say that because I think Israel's also become a scapegoat. Trump is that stupid too. He's that stupid too, to just want to have that win. The first year, remember the first year, everything was cool, everything was calm. I think what he started to see is that his sentiments, his policies were not that popular, so he needed something that was going to wake folks up. Yeah. Also, he's going to be here tomorrow, by the way. Netanyahu is going to be here tomorrow. Trump will be meeting with him. So we'll see how that goes. Trump will be here tomorrow.
God bless
Thank you, Mindfully, for knocking out the donuts in the gift gallery. I appreciate you. Friendly reminder that our gift gallery is refreshed for this week, so please click on my name in the top left corner. And any of the grayed out gifts you see in the gallery, please feel free to become the title gifter and get that knocked out as much as we can before now and next Sunday. Thank you so much. W's in the chat to y'all. Yeah, we know who he wanted to win. All the intelligence in the world showing why certain groups of people wanted Trump to win. If Russia wanted you to win, that says a lot. Thank you, Korea, for the journal gift. I appreciate you. Russia wanted Trump to win. Israel wanted Trump to win. Argentina wanted Trump to win. Saudi Arabia wanted Trump to win. Look into why.
God bless you.
Look into why. Thank you, Mindfully, for the hat and mustache. America. I appreciate you. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you, Dingo, for the boxing gloves. WC, you guys. Thank you so much for the gifts. But yeah, look at the people who wanted Trump to win, and that tells you everything you need to know. The people who wanted Trump to win tells you everything you need to know. I was watching Santana's live earlier, and he has this buffoon come up. This guy comes up and he says that he does not support the DSA. He was a closeted MAGA, but he said he didn't support the DSA because of trans people, because he felt that that was too radical. And then he walked it back and said, I don't have an issue with trans people. First and foremost, how is a group of people too radical? How is one's identity radical? Or even more specifically, even if you're to say they are, how is the DSA's advocacy for a group of people that has been trampled on in Donald Trump's second term, how is that radical? Yeah. Then bro said I don't have a problem with trans people. I'm like, you clearly do. And Santana asked him a question. He said, okay, why do Democrats, more so the DSA, right, advocate for trans people? He's like, well, because they're trying to be loving and all this different stuff. And it's like, okay, so then why would you be the opposite of that? Mind you, these same people profess to be Christian. I don't know, Erica. They've been chicken shit. Today. The most we had is a lady who regretted her vote at the beginning, some troll who wouldn't address questions, the last guy who ran because he didn't want to address the prompt. No one is willing to defend Trump. I don't know what happened today. Is there something I'm missing on the news today? Did Trump do something so fucking stupid that they're scared of us? Let me see. Something must have happened today. What's new on the news today? Something must have happened. Because you know when Trump fucks up or when a report comes out that's showing he fucked up, they get really quiet. And then when like a win shows up on the media, then they start circulating the lives. Let's see. The most that I have here is 22 minutes ago, Iran war updates. Oh. You know what I think it is? So Friday, which we already read earlier, we have the report that showed that they're deciding to curb on their missiles, right? According to two sources familiar with the matter. Mind you, every single time the New York Post, Axios, Al Jazeera, any of them post these sources, Trump supporters say, oh, well, that's not confirmed. Oh, well, liberal lies. And then here comes the Monday. So it's been a weekend that's passed. Now, U.S. signals pause in Iran strikes will allow talks to progress. Trump says U.S. in talks with Iran hopes for, quote, good things. The U.S. President Donald Trump says Washington is having good talks with Tehran, but he's not interested in prolonged negotiations. That's what it is. The report was correct. Our weapons are depleting. We don't have enough to keep up to the same degree that we were before. So now we're trying to go the diplomatic route again. And by the way, there's really no such thing as diplomacy with the Trump administration. That's what it is. Not to mention, they still have yet to address the fact that we have literally White House officials admitting that they slashed funding to blue states just because they voted for Harris. No one on the right, and I mean no one, has addressed that. One of my favorite things that Trump supporters bring up is the weaponization of the government. Under Biden, Biden censored free speech. Biden hated Christians. Biden, I don't know, welcomed in communism, whatever stupid shit that these people come up with. All these people say that. They can't point to how Biden weaponized the government. They can't point to a single way that Republicans were shown less favor under his term, but they'll say it. And then comes Trump. Very first thing he does is pass executive orders targeting blue states, targeting their school funding, school lunch funding specifically, targeting their health care, targeting their benefits, invading their states, invading state sovereignty and states' rights by sending ICE into their cities to kill their citizens. And then there's Doge and how the predominant amount of things that they cut would have overwhelmingly been more Democratic or served Democrats here, I would say, domestically. USAID obviously is just soft power. That's not a party thing. Although Republicans clearly don't give a shit about soft power when you can bomb people. All these reasons and more. The executive order that he passed to go against Sussman Godfrey because they defended Dominion voting machines when Trump falsely alleged that those machines were rigged in the 2020 festival. They defended him and won. And Donald Trump got mad and he said, executive order, persecute them. There is no denying that when it comes to political weaponization, don't get me started on Lisa Cook. Don't get me started on Jack Smith. Don't get me on, not Letitia Cook, Lisa Cook, Letitia James. Don't get me started on all these different people. Many individuals in the government, the firing of the EAC, Jerome Powell. It's almost as if Donald Trump is directly involved in these independent branches with one goal, and that's to piss off Democrats. That is to harm them. Yeah. That was a report. It was every states who voted for Kamala Harris in 2024. That's who they were directed to reevaluate, freeze, halt, whatever their funding. This was confirmed already. The White House declined to comment, as they typically do. Caroline Leavitt is going to dance around it, as they typically do. In fact, I can already picture her response now. The second someone brings it up, she's going to go, what about when Joe Biden persecuted Christians? I looked into that shit, by the way. It wasn't Joe Biden. It wasn't Joe Biden. It was Obama. How many of you guys have heard the talking point that under Obama's watch, was it the FBI or the DOJ? One of those departments were like planting people in churches to fuck them over, like some shit like that. Come to find out that in part, from my reading, my understanding of the situation, there was a report that came out. There was an idea that was explored. It may have been tried. That was not like the direction that they were trying to go to, and it was shut down. It was shut down under Obama's term. But then they use that to say all the time, Democrats hate Christians. Okay, sure. Whatever, bro. Most Democrats are Christian. Not just Christian, actually Christian. Or whatever you guys think Christianity is. Yes. We're about the free will that God gave you. We're not about restricting anyone's rights. We are not about shunning the foreigner, persecuting the foreigner. There's a video that I watched of a lady who was getting a green card. Green card, mind you. She's in the process of getting a green card. She was detained for days and not given water. She talked about the conditions in great detail. Let me see if I can pull up this video for you guys, actually. This is really fucked up video. But we'll just watch that because the Trump supporters are not here. So we're just gonna watch this video. Let's go. Did I save it? I saved it. Let me see if I can pull up my save list. How do you pull up your save list on browser again? Shit, I don't remember. Let's look up liked videos. I'll pull it up here. There we go.
I was detained by...
Give me a second to put this up on the screen for y'all. But yeah, she was trying to get a green card the legal way, and they punished her for it. Oops, wrong one. Hold on. Trump. Yes, this is it. Oh, I have way too many tabs up, bro. Hold on, I have way too many tabs up. God damn. I literally don't know which one I put. Okay, hold on. Google Chrome. Here we go. My fault. All right, let me crop out some things here. TikTok is sensitive. And I will put this link in the description on YouTube. But yeah, this is a lady talking about the conditions in ICE detention that she experienced just for trying to get a green card.
ICE during my green card interview, and I was detained by ICE during my green card interview, and I'm going to talk about the conditions of the detention center and the processing site where I was held at, and specifically the water situation. I want to start this off by saying that water is a basic human right. And even though the people that were detained, were in this prison, were these criminals, we still deserve access to water. Right after I got detained, I spent 3 hours in a van waiting to be transported to the processing center, which is in the federal building in downtown San Diego. Once I was at the processing center, they put me in a cell and they gave me a regular plastic water bottle, which I ended up drinking about this much before they transferred me to a cell right next to the cell I was in and made me throw it away because they said that I wasn't allowed to take my water bottle in there. Once I got to the second cell, there was a metal toilet and a metal sink in there, but the faucet wasn't working, so there was no water coming out of the sink. After a couple hours, one of the guards came in and I asked him if I could have another water bottle, and he pointed to the sink and said there's water right there. And I told him the sink wasn't working, so there was no water coming out. And he rolled his eyes and said that if he got me water, that meant he had to get everybody else in the cells water, and he's too busy and doesn't have time for that. So he left, and a couple hours later, he did end up coming back with a water bottle. So I did drink about this much again because I was rationing it. I didn't know how long I was gonna have this water bottle for. Around 30 minutes after I got the water bottle, they said it was time for dinner, and if I wanted to eat dinner, they were gonna move me to another cell right next door. And when I was walking to that cell, they made me throw away the water bottle because they said I couldn't take it into the new cell.
This part really got me. They would move her for this, they would move her for that, and then every time you wanted to do anything, you needed to do anything, options like eating, then they would take away your water. So then you can get a bottle, and then if you want to eat, you have to dehydrate yourself. If you want to hydrate yourself, you can't eat. How fucking cruel is that? Doesn't make any sense.
After that, I finally got moved to the last and final cell before being transferred to Otay Mesa Detention Center. And in that cell, the sink was working a little bit, like the water was coming out of the faucet a little bit, so you could kind of cup your hand and drink the water. But at this point, I had used the restroom and there is no toilet paper or soap for you to wash your hands with, so I decided I did not want to drink the water out of my hand. Once I was transferred to the Otay Mesa Detention Center, it was the same situation. You're just put in a cell with a metal toilet and a metal sink that barely works, and no cups and no water bottles. When I got to my cell of the detention center, there is one sink with drinkable water for 150 women. And I asked one of the other girls that was detained if she knew where I could get a cup or I could get something to drink water with, and she said that there isn't any. I got to the detention center Tuesday morning, and the only way to get a cup is to order one and buy one from the commissary. And that is a whole other video, but basically the commissary, you order it Sunday morning and it arrives Tuesday morning. So I was gonna have to wait a week to be able to order a cup to drink water from. In the meantime,
for profit. Erica talks about this in depth. For profit. Donald Trump's mass deportation agenda doesn't exist. It's a mass detention agenda to benefit these for-profit contractors, detention centers, so they can make money off of free labor and then charge you for basic things. People, listen to me, people in prison are getting better treatment than immigrants. People in prison stealing, robbing, murdering, raping, they're getting better treatment in these prisons than innocent migrants in detention centers. It's all about the fucking money. All about the money. You gotta go pay $20 for a fucking cup to drink water.
One of the other girls
I don't know what
that
the
was
prices are,
detained
actually.
gave me a little plastic Dixie cup about this big. When you take medication, you have to go to the pill line, so you have to go to another cell and you get a little tiny Dixie cup of water this big. They give you your medication and you drink it, and you're normally supposed to throw away the cup, but this girl had taken the cup with her and brought it with her, and so when I told her that I was thirsty, she kindly gave me her little tiny plastic Dixie cup, and that is what I used for the entire week to drink water there. I would go back and forth to the sink to fill up this cup this big with water so that I could drink. The water coming out from the faucet too, or from the sink, was hot water, hot enough to like mix your coffee in or to put a tea bag in. So most of the time you had to kind of like wait for it to cool down a little bit. By Wednesday night of me being there, I was so dehydrated. My lips were super dry and chapped to a point where they started bleeding because of how dry they were. Again, I think water is a basic human necessity and it's a right, and I don't think it should have been that hard to get access to clean drinking water. I was detained by ICE during my
those of you asking, the creator is, I'll put it down here. I put the video link in the live chat of the Discord. So if you're in the Discord, you're good there. And to the rest of you, if you wanted to go look at it, this was 6 days ago. And I just put their username in the chat. I'll pin it actually. That is the name of the creator. You can go follow her for the other part that she does. Or I don't know if she's done it yet, but she was also working on the commissary to talk about how they're trying to charge you an arm and a leg for, I don't know, Skittles. But yeah, that's what they're doing in detention centers. So while the Trump base believes that the worst of the worst criminals, the violent ones, the horrendous ones, the worst of the worst that Joe Biden protected is now being get rid of, that's not the case at all. We're looking at women like her, and we're locking them up in cells, depriving them of their rights, opening her up to sexual assault because we're aware of the rising cases of sexual assault in detention centers, women going in and coming out pregnant. For what? For what? At the send this to some Republican voters who are also Latino Americans? Absolutely should. Please do. Please do. The the Latino Americans, I've never felt right saying the latter pull. It feels wrong saying that. But those people, they absolutely need to see it. They absolutely need to see it. They absolutely need to see it. That's some sad shit. It isn't ironic that both group stocks rose drastically after Trump's win? Ooh, Core Civic. Hold on, who's Geo Group? I knew about Core Civic. Who's Geo Group? Oh! Oh! I got it. I got you, Phil. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on, I'll pull this up really quickly. Refugees get rich caging immigrants?
Through Ellis Island. I am chairman and CEO and the founder of the Geo Group.
What? The Geo Group is the nation's largest for-profit jailer of immigrants and ICE's biggest contractor.
Holy shit. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah, so he just put these screenshots of their stock and how much it skyrocketed when Trump won.
God bless you.
They are raking it in. They are raking it in to violate your rights. They are raking it in to violate your rights. Now, mind you, imagine being an American. Imagine being an American who tried to show their real ID to the ICE agent that didn't even know how to read it 3 times over and being denied every single time. Being detained every single time. Geo Group. Imagine that. Imagine having your birth certificate on you because you're that scared that because you're browner or have an accent, someone's going to believe that you're not an American. And then they tell you that your birth certificate is forged. The Trump administration's policies, immigration policies, don't just affect undocumented migrants. They're hurting Americans too. We know this based off the dead ones. We know this based off the ones, the legal battles that the Americans are fighting, having come up with hundreds of thousands of dollars. I just read this story of a lady who had a GoFundMe out for the last 5 to 6 months. I got to go follow up with her, actually. 5 to 6 months, she's been trying to raise $10,000 to get her legal dad out of a detention center. There needs to be a lot more lawsuits. But here's the sad thing about that. All the lawsuits you can put out, someone's got to pay it. That's you and I. When America loses these suits and people sue them and win, the government has to pay for it somehow. Could you imagine extra tax dollars? They tax us already to hell. Could you imagine extra tax dollars going towards the violations of one's due process? Isn't that fucking insane? Think about that. The money we could be spending on healthcare, the money we could be spending on veterans, the money we can be spending on tackling homelessness, the money we can be spending on feeding people, we're going to have to throw because the government looked at you, said you don't belong here, and threw you in a cell for days to weeks at a time. God forbid some of these people get sick. God forbid some of these people died in detention, because you have a large number of them too. I believe the number's up to 50 or 60. Hold on. Let me see. Let me double check this really quickly. I believe it's 50 or 60. Immigrants who died in ICE detention.
God bless you.
Since so we have one I'm reading here, at least 54 since January. This is a 22-year high of 33 deaths reported during the year 2025 and over 22 additional deaths by mid-July of 2026. California recognized all ICE deaths this year. I think it was 75. And you're probably right. Yeah, Human Rights Watch just did one on here. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, death is horrible. But I also think the amount of people that are going in sick and not able to walk out straight, I think that's a huge fucking problem too. Some of these able-bodied people who are coming out hospital-ridden because of health conditions that they may have, because of the abuse that they may have experienced in there. Oh, no, absolutely, Mad Cat. This is just known reported deaths. So this is what ICE has been putting out, and this is what some independent watchdogs have been able to get. We don't know the number. We don't know. And the only way we'll know is upon another administration coming in, they do a full investigation. Which they need to, by the way. The next Democratic presidential candidate has to run off of immigration reform, ICE reform, which includes going back and finding out all the people we screwed over beforehand. How many pregnancies? Hold on. I'm curious. This one is really hard to find because ICE isn't reporting on it. And then a lot of times they're saying that, oh, these women didn't know they were pregnant before they went in, which is such bullshit. Such bullshit. This is going to be a much harder number to track down, but let me see. So I'm seeing here from Human Rights Watch 121 people. This includes postpartum and nursing. 9 of the actively detained, I don't believe this, but whatever. 9 of the actively detained individuals were noted to be in the 3rd trimester of pregnancy. Department of Homeland Security records indicate that 363 pregnant, postpartum, or nursing immigrants were deported between January 1st, 2025 and February 6th, 2026. Yeah. Yeah. Again, Dulce, she was out in Maryland. She was transferred over to 5 or 7 different detention centers in the span of 5 months. Before they finally got her out, before they finally accepted her validated documents. A lot of these women will literally have their babies in these detention centers. It's gross. Yeah, they're not receiving. Yep, that's a very good point. It's a very good point, Matt. And the women and girls aren't receiving follow-up health care either. A dude fucking died over a damn toothache. He had a fucking toothache. He had a thing in his mouth in Arizona. Erica told that story. Said, I'm in pain. I just need this looked at. They refused to. What was their excuse then? Well, if I look at your tooth, I'll have to look at everyone else's tooth? Yeah. Cruelty is the point. Anyways, if you're not following me, hit that follow button in the top left corner. We are live every Saturday after 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the weeks. Thank you guys for tapping your asses off. Share out the live with your friends and family as well. Give it a good repost and add to your story. Send your daily heart me's. Let's knock out these rows this year. We have 88 more of those to go. And of course, you guys know what to do with the gift galley, and then the link's in the bio. Those of you on the YouTube side, hit the like button on the stream, subscribe and turn on notification bells. If you want to support the platform, you may send a super chat, super sticker, or consider becoming a member. Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're off on the tube side, and we call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. What? What? Oh, shut up. Get in the request. Get in the request. You guys want to talk about the cutoff of children being trafficked? That's a fucking lie. That's a fucking lie. The people who traffic these children, the people who traffic Epstein's victims straight to him, the ones that's business models of sex trafficking, of minors, that is being protected under the Trump administration, is going very strong. I want to make that clear. I don't give a fuck how much numbers ICE puts out of all the different traffickers that we caught. When the capitalistic ones, the ones with buku amounts of money, who just send a couple thousand to one of your officials' bank accounts and they let something slide, that system still exists. That system isn't being dismantled. That is the large trafficking ring you guys should be so fucking focused on, because that includes Americans and migrants. Especially migrants, I would argue, because no one's looking for them as it is. I did just see that. Yeah, the Tate brothers, yeah. Literal traffickers are being protected under this administration. So don't sit here and act like you only care about the brown ones. You don't give a fuck about any of them. What does New Testament Democrat mean? So it's essentially a different way of saying progressive. It's a play on like the Old Testament and New Testament. Old Testament, God was obviously very draconian, like stoning fucking kids, killing women because they look back and turning them into salt, all that shit. Versus the New Testament is obviously more so about the love of Jesus, forgiveness, so on and so forth. So that's the way I see like the Democratic Party or the establishment Democrats versus the new upcoming progressive Democrats. So I would identify as a New Testament Democrat. It would be more so the Jasmine Crockett's, the AOCs versus the establishment Democrats, the Hakeem Jeffries, the Chuck Schumers, all the fuckers we hate, right? All those guys who need to go. So I call it a New Testament Democrat. Yes. All that is available on my merch shop in several different colors at hectorshops.com with 2 R's. hectorshops.com with 2 R's. I got to get it on a hat as well. I've been forgetting to design that one. I'm going to put it on a hat. I'll do that in a bit. Barron Trump was in communication with Tate Brothers for dating advice. Wait, what? No, you're lying. You're lying. No way. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Hold, please. Hold, please. Oh. Oh. Democratic Rep. Yasamin Ansari is urging the House Oversight Committee to investigate the Tate brothers' connections to individuals in the administration's orbit, including Barron Trump. Ansari specifically requested Barron Trump testify about his knowledge or involvement with Andrew and Tristan Tate, who are accused of sexual abuse and trafficking. The Manosphere influencers were arrested. Yeah, I already know about all this. But Barron Trump was reportedly a fan of Andrew Tate and spoke to him over Zoom in 2024, according to the New York Times. Donald Trump Jr. also reportedly met Tate at Trump Tower in 2017. I can see that. And Alina Habba, a former attorney to the president who briefly served as the top federal prosecutor in New Jersey, then they had to get rid of her. She described herself as a big fan during a January 2025 podcast appearance. Ansari is also seeking records from the Department of Justice and State Department regarding communications between U.S., British, and Romanian authorities concerning the Tate brothers' investigation and extradition. Wow. Ain't that something? The entire Trump family is gross. The entire Trump family is gross. Oof. Trying to see what else I can find here. Recent episode of the Why Is This Happening podcast from MS Now's Chris Hayes spotlighted the Tate brothers' promotion of violence towards and subjugation of women. The podcast interview was centered around the New York's Heidi Blake article, Andrew Tate's Empire of Abuse, which featured reporting about Andrew Tate's apparent communication with Barron Trump, which MS Now has not confirmed and a Tate spokesperson has denied. You can read more about the Trump family ties to the Tates and support for the brothers here. Forbes did an article. This was as of a few days ago. Huh. We know about Don. I remember this actually. Don Jr., when they were arrested first, he was like, "This is terrible." Fucking gross. Youngest son cultivates, parents have rates. Focus rates, New York Times, finding about currents. Yikes. The Tates have repeatedly praised Trump and urged his followers to vote for him in 2024. That tracks. Andrew Tate said he spoke to Barron after the 2024 assassination attempt against Trump, telling reporters, "I'm very close with the Trump family. I know them well." Yeah, he probably thinks he's going to get a fucking pardon. Not that the prosecutions are here, but probably thinks the United States is going to get involved in saving his ass overseas. Ew. If he needed advice for how to grape, traffic, and abuse, he could have just asked his daddy for free. That part. I must say, the Tate brothers are probably done. I say probably because I don't know. Pedophiles just seem to keep escaping justice systems here and there. Okay, so what do? Should we do a restart? Because it is minutes to 8. And I've been yapping for like an hour. The Trump supporters are not calling in. My mods are handling them on YouTube. You guys are handling them over here. They do not have the testicular fortitude to defend this shit. So, should we do a restart? I'll let y'all decide. You'll say yes. That's why they're in my comments on my videos. I guess it's an intimidation thing. They know who they can pick at. And when I say that, I'm not saying that as like an insult to you. I'm just saying I guess people see like my following, they get more scared. Most of them are chicken shits anyway. Versus other people they could perceive as little folks that they can pick at. That's what they do all the time. Okay, most of y'all said yes. Yeah. I didn't give y'all nothing good, man. We didn't get no Trump supporters today. So we'll do a restart. But here's the thing. You just over talk and boot. Hey, Leonardo. You just were sent an invite. Let's see if you have the balls. I overtalk people who don't answer my questions. And I mute folks who slur. Absolutely.
I've already talked to you before. You just overtalked the whole time and then kicked me off.
Oh, really? What did we talk about?
Yeah, that's why you're not getting. That's why you
what
guys
did we
aren't
talk
getting
about?
guests anymore. There's like 2 creators that get guests, and it's not you.
Yeah, I can name at least 17. There's a guest calling right there.
People watching Dean.
There's a guest calling right there.
Nobody's calling in over here.
Yeah, hold on.
Call from
B.
Aren't you the black stupid fuck who called me earlier who was not voting?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why
Since you
don't
guys
get
don't
any
know
engagement.
boundaries, I will teach you some. Hold that block. So back to you. What were we arguing about before?
Originally, you were trying to convince me that ICE, it was like immoral for ICE to, like round people up.
Were you
Yeah,
arguing that it was moral for ICE to round people up?
Yeah, I think I think ICE is necessary. You were like raging out over ICE. This was like maybe 3 months ago.
Yeah,
But this is why you
because
don't get
ICE
engaged
is a state-sanctioned domestic terrorist group that
That's your
under the Trump
opinion.
administration has been weaponized to kill Americans and violate due process left and right and put us on an international human rights watch list.
That's their initiative, is to kill Americans.
What?
That's their initiative.
I'm not talking about their initiative. I'm talking about what they're doing.
You said that they're put out there basically to kill people for Donald Trump.
They're protected when they kill people. Yeah.
Well, I don't
What are
know.
the
I
names
don't know
of the
that you
ICE
can
agents who
prove that.
killed Alex Preddy, Keith Porter Jr., I'm blanking on the other one, and then the last
How
two
is
we had
Keith
within the
Porter
2 weeks.
Jr.? I've never even heard of that person.
Exactly. That tracks. What are the ICE agents' names? The only one we know is Jonathan Ross, and that's because he was essentially put out on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, why would we need to know their names?
Why would we need to know the names of murderers?
Well,
Why
that's
would
your
we need to know
position.
the names of people that need to be put on trial?
That's your position, that they're
No,
murderers.
it's not my position.
Murder
It's
is
what
the
they did.
unjustified unaliving of somebody.
That's correct. None
You don't
of
know-
the killings
Has this
were
been through, like,
justified
a
per
court
ICE
yet?
per
Has
the
anyone
law.
decided that it's unjustified? Is this
They're
already
not
went through the
getting
courts?
hearings.
You don't think?
understand that,
and
right?
your claim is that they never will get a hearing. Then
That's very likely, yes. The
Well,
Trump
you don't know
administration has
that.
been protecting
how
them.
How can you prove that the next administration that most likely comes in, because Trump hasn't done that great of a job?
The next administration would only solidify my point that the Trump administration does
Then
not
no,
care about
it
law
would
and
be wrong
order.
that if they prosecuted them, if the next administration prosecuted them, then your point right now is incorrect that they're not getting prosecuted.
My
That's
point
why
is surrounding this administration. Friendly reminder that this is my topic, so I'm talking about Trump and his administration. They're not getting prosecuted under this administration. They're being protected. A Democratic administration coming in and actually holding them accountable and giving victims justice is what I expect and is what they will do, because that's what Democrats typically do.
What? Justice?
Yeah. You can't name the other
Wait,
people that I
what?
mentioned, by
That's
the
an
way.
absurd claim. I mean, we could look at, if you want to make a broad statement like that about Democrats, we could easily look at Barack Obama's policy against whistleblowers in the United States government. He's definitely not for justice. So I don't know why you would say something so stupid like that.
Yeah, I don't
He
know.
definitely
I don't
wanted
know
to
what you're
persecute
referencing, but if you can name
the
me an American
whistleblowers?
citizen who died by the hands of ICE under his administration and Obama protected, then your example would be comparable. If you just
Wait,
pivoted
why-
to
why
something
would I
else
have to
completely,
know
then
them?
you can just say that you pivoted to something else completely.
No, you said that Democrats, they serve justice or something ridiculous like that.
I was talking about ICE, yeah.
Oh,
and then
just ICE?
overall, I mean, yeah, I would make the argument overall when it comes to civil rights enforcement, with the only caveat being, I guess, some actions overseas. Obviously, Obama was not good in that department. Domestically,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
exceptional.
Yeah, so I don't know. Was there any? I guess I would have to was there anyone that died under ICE under Obama or Biden?
People died by ICE under previous administrations. The killers were not protected by the entirety of the administration themselves.
This seems like something you could
And the
prove. I don't
numbers,
understand.
and the numbers substantially were ramped up. What do you mean this is something I can prove?
No, like you asking me that question, like they didn't protect them. That seems like, how would I? What are you looking for me to look up exactly? Like if they allowed them to be prosecuted? I don't understand what you mean exactly.
Is the Trump administration ordering DHS and ICE to prosecute Jonathan Ross? Is he put on leave?
Well, ICE doesn't
with
prosecute people.
Well, obviously, I'm saying handing over the
That made
information
no
and
sense.
documentation.
Comment you just made
Handing
made no
over the
sense.
information and documentation
How
that
would
would be
ICE
necessary,
how would
and
ICE
then
prosecute
launching an
somebody?
investigation, specifically through DOJ. If you did not know, the DOJ is no
You
longer
said you wanted
the
ICE to
DOJ
prosecute
is
people.
my guy. I literally just said exactly what I meant. I literally
You said
just added
ICE
the
needs to
context.
prosecute
Hand
somebody?
them
How did-
over for prosecution.
That doesn't
Hand
even
over
make
the
any
necessary
sense.
documentation for prosecution. If you like to stay stuck on my misspeaking, by all means.
Well, you're saying ridiculous. You want ICE to prosecute somebody? That doesn't even make any
Hey,
sense.
I don't know why you're dying on the hill when I clearly just said
not dying
that
on the
they
hill. You
need
don't
to
know what you're
hand
talking
over the
about.
necessary information for prosecution.
To who?
To the DOJ, for one. Do
Wait,
you know
the
the
DOJ
DOJ?
you don't think
Do you know the
how do you-
DOJ can investigate DHS and other government departments?
The DOJ can investigate anything in America.
Uh-huh. And the
But what are-
DOJ no longer will be doing so. Orders
What
of
the-
Trump.
What would ICE hand over that the DOJ doesn't have?
Camera footage, the medical record allegedly of Jonathan Ross that showed that he suffered from internal bleeding.
Wait, the DOJ doesn't need a warrant to go to other police agencies to gather information, especially a federal agency like that. It's the DOJ.
You're missing
They
the
don't-
whole goddamn
What are they
point.
handing over that they don't have?
You're
I don't. That doesn't
literally
make any
missing the
sense.
point.
No, you're acting like they're holding like this video camera footage, and they're not releasing. The DOJ is more powerful than ICE. Are you out of your mind?
The DOJ is all under the Trump administration. The DOJ and DHS,
There's
Trump
nothing
is
they
the
don't
head.
have about
His
those
appointees are over them. Any cooperation amongst the branches would be possible if the Trump administration willed it. The Trump
Trump's in charge
administration
of both
has
sides.
put
What are you
out
talking about?
orders to where the DOJ just announced within the last week or two, that they will no longer be investigating misconduct under DHS and ICE. They
Who's
will leave
investigating
it
it?
to DHS and ICE. The DOJ, thank you, the DOJ is complacent, literally.
Okay,
All
so
of his
it's gonna
branches
be-
are working together to protect pedophiles and criminals.
Protect pedophiles? Where are you getting that from?
Epstein. That's a different conversation.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of invoked it. It was kind of odd. But
the
I don't
truth.
understand this, like the video cameras you're talking about, or like any sort of information that one might have that the other doesn't. If they're all under the same fascist dictator, as you say, why would it
I'm
matter?
sorry. Do you think there's some requirement that DHS has to send over everything to the DOJ?
No, I think the DOJ has access to all of these records and all of this stuff that they would
No,
need.
they don't.
How would they not?
They
have
don't just
access?
have it. They would have to request it. They would have to obtain
Wait,
it.
Who do they request it from?
If they need DHS information from DHS, who the fuck else would they go to?
If they're all working together, and this conspiracy, basically, you have a conspiracy.
Working
that they're all
together?
working
What do you
together.
mean by working together?
You said that they're working together to shield each other from prosecution because
Yes.
they all have a central authority figure in
Yes,
Donald Trump.
DOJ does not. Literally went
So
over
what's
this.
there to
This is
send
the
over?
fourth goddamn time I'm going to
You're
say
not making
this.
any sense.
The DOJ no longer will investigate misconduct under DHS by agents.
So who's doing the investigations now?
No one.
So there's nobody, like, let's say there was a rogue officer that, let's say he did something terrible to one of his coworkers or something. And let's say they have all this proof of this. You're saying that ICE and these other agencies, they're just running around carte blanche, doing whatever they want. They don't even use warrants anymore. They don't need.
Not the proper
ever-
ones. They've been weaponizing administrative warrants over judicial.
Why do they even need the administration if it's all just a fascistic takeover?
What do you mean? Why do they even need?
Why would they need even the utterance
administration?
of a warrant? Why aren't they just booting down every single door everywhere? Why aren't they just running in all the houses everywhere? Everyone they say,
they
you know what?
literally
That's-
have
that
been.
looks like a Mexican.
You keep
Let's
saying,
kick
why
that
aren't they
door
doing
down."
this and why
We're
aren't they
not
doing
seeing
that?
this.
I don't know where
Because-
you've been this entire time.
Well,
they have been.
I wish they were doing this. I think Trump
They
is one
have
of the most
been.
softest
You
Republican
literally didn't
presidents
even
we've
know
ever seen.
who Keith Porter Jr. was, but you're sitting here arguing against what you
Brother,
think
you
they're
said you
not
wanted
doing.
ICE to prosecute people.
You
made
keep
no
going back
sense
to me
earlier.
misspeaking.
That was-
Nice
that-
try.
And me not knowing
The
some
prosecution
random
is going to
martyr.
happen. The prosecution is going to happen by departments like the DOJ, especially when state and local governments cannot and the DOJ is refusing to. The Trump administration has called the victims that have been killed by ICE agents domestic terrorists and gunmen with no evidence whatsoever to support their arguments. DHS has not shown any investigation for any of the agents that have been demasked and alleged to have committed several crimes and ones that have been confirmed to commit crimes against Americans and undocumented migrants.
If this is true, why aren't we seeing mass deportations then? Because Trump's lost a lot of support.
What the fuck does the prosecution of these agents have to do with mass deportation?
This is what you do. I ask a little question and I try to add on to it, and you start over talking. This is why you can't get guests up here
literally
anymore,
just
Hector.
pivoted.
I'm not pivoting.
You
said
literally
that they
did.
don't. I'm trying to tie it in because you're not understanding. You're saying that they're not using warrants anymore. They don't even need warrants. The idea of a warrant doesn't
using the proper warrants.
Look,
You're the
no,
one who said they're
you
not using
said-
warrants anymore.
I asked you a question
I literally
about it.
said they're using administrative over
yes,
judicial warrants.
Right. So, and that's not the
And
correct
that's in
way.
some cases.
So if there's no oversight
said
of
all
it
of
anymore,
this.
why do they have to use these other? Why do they even need the other type of warrant? Why do they need anything? If there's no oversight over this group, and you're claiming that there's mass deportations happening, people are getting killed left and right. Meanwhile, Trump's losing his whole base because there is no mass deportations. Trump's deported 400,000 people, maybe, and that might be generous.
Detainment has been
No,
happening.
we want mass deportation.
Substantially.
He
I'm aware
ran
of
on
what you
mass
guys want. I'm
deportations.
aware of
He
what you
ran
guys
on-
do not know the impact of mass
He ran
deportation.
mass
I'm aware of the
deportations. He
draconian
didn't
policies
ran
you
on-
prefer, but that's
Yes.
literally what we're
Yes.
seeing. Mass detainment. And then the
That's not what he
deportations that
ran
we've
on.
seen under the administration. Under
That's
falsehoods.
not what he ran on. He ran on mass
My guy, did I
deportations.
say he ran off of mass detainment, or did I say
Then
he's doing
then-
it?
Then he's lying to his base, and you're acting like he's
No
they don't
shit.
need
I
these
know the
warrants.
Trump administration is lying to his base. I know the fact that you guys are so fucking
Yeah,
gullible
so
that he can do it and you will eat it up. This is not surprising to us. Maybe you. This is not surprising to us. I need you to
so-
address the fact that the Trump administration has, and in their orders they've been given to ICE, starting with the 3,000 a day quota, has warranted and weaponized ICE agents to go out there and kill and harm American civilians and undocumented migrants alike, to violate due process to the degree that the Supreme Court had to get involved with Kilmar Berger Garcia.
Yeah, it's just not happening. There's only been 400,000.
Everything I just mentioned is things that have happened, and you're sitting here saying it's not happening.
No,
I
it's
think
not.
this is why I muted you and dropped you from the panel, because
They're
you're too
doing catch and
stupid
release
to have
again.
this conversation.
No, nobody's too stupid. I'm not a
You
Trump
clearly
supporter.
are.
I'm not a Trump supporter.
You're clearly a moron. I don't care if you're
I'm
a Trump
saying they're
supporter or
I'm
not.
saying they're not doing enough. We're not seeing we wish there was warrantless raids. Illegal immigrants, they don't have the ability to, I say, petition the Supreme Court. I say that they're here illegally. They don't get the same
You
right.
wish we didn't respect the law? You wish we didn't
Yeah,
go
I
by
wish-
due process?
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan
You
of
wish
history.
that we would
I think-
erode the very laws and foundations and principles that built this country?
Yeah, for illegal immigrants, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, he's probably right. I probably did mute the fuck out of him and drop him, just like I did then. Because there's nothing else I can possibly say in this conversation. How am I going to have a conversation about legality who's someone who doesn't respect the law? And people like that don't call into my stream. People like that don't request up in the box. Thank you. You're doing me a favor. You're just a piece of shit. You're just someone who should probably face a fucking wall. If it wasn't for the laws in this country, I'm glad people like you don't request up and call in. I open up this platform to have genuine conversations with human beings in an attempt to get them to acknowledge others' humanity. And if you don't, quite frankly, you're a waste of my time. If you think I'm going to be one of those debaters that goes back and forth with fucking straight up fascists, rapists, and everything else, like opening up with that, then no. You can stay in the request. I'll mute you, though. You can't chirp down there, though. What are we doing? What are we doing? Don't get back in the request. Don't get back in the request. No, bitch boy. No, bitch boy. This is why no one's requesting up. Don't get back in my request. You weren't requesting up, remember? You had to be sent an invite. Don't get back in my request. The Constitution, you fucking pig, gives due process to all persons within the jurisdiction of the United States thereof. Every single person in the United States, regardless of citizenship, is entitled to certain rights. And you don't want them to have it just because. Okay. What you want to happen to others should happen to you first. I think you should get picked up by an ICE agent. I think you should be beaten and battered in a fucking cell. I think you should be deprived of water, and maybe then you'll have a different tune. And he kept trying to overtalk you? Literally. Literally. That's what they do. That's what they do. There's certain things I cannot say on this platform, but sometimes I wonder, maybe if you guys got maybe if you guys had the entirety of the government come down on you the way that Kilmar Abrego Garcia had experienced it. Maybe once that happens, you guys will learn. Maybe then you guys will wonder, how in the fuck could I possibly want this for someone else? And even then, I think some of you guys would still go, oh, it was just a mistake. Even then, I still think some of you go, oh, it's just an honest slip up, a little mishap. Yeah, literally. It is the skin tone thing. You guys remember the guest that we had? The dude who said Patriot Front wasn't a white supremacist group? Do you guys remember the kid we had who said that Patriot Front wasn't a white supremacist group? He conceded later. Context. He conceded later. But he opened up with that. They don't know their history. They don't even know about the groups designated as domestic terrorists here in the United States. Hate groups. Neo-Nazis. They have no idea. And that's the crazy thing about so many folks who call in here or request up trying to go back and forth with me. Ask questions. You don't know shit, though. Ask the questions. It's weird to me when people call in a request up to argue things that they do not know, to contest documents that they have not read. That's in my latest video. That's literally in my latest video. The reports or the information that the White House released that Donald Trump was using to fuel his fraudulent election agenda. The dude literally in the video admitted that he didn't even read it. Don't know what else to tell you. Don't know what else to tell you. If people didn't have due process just for being here, we wouldn't be able to arrest people that come here and commit any crimes. I'm also starting to learn this, and I actually did this with Steve once, Facts Don't Matter. I'm actually starting to realize that Republicans don't know what due process is. Ooh, you know when they understand due process very well? I'll tell you when they understand due process. Whenever one of their favorite far-right Republican figures gets accused of rape. Whenever the victim tells their story, the survivor tells their story. Whenever the law favors the criminal, whether it be the statute of limitations or the abundance of evidence or the time frame that you choose to tell your story, they understand due process really quickly. When we get up on this platform and we say Donald Trump is a rapist felon, they will be the first to say, whatever happened to innocent till proven guilty? We are going by that. He was held civilly liable. Jury of his peers, his lawyers picked them out. Found civilly liable of the sexual assault of E. Jean Carroll. Just had to pay her, after trying to fight it for 3 years, the $5 million he owed. He's still going to try to appeal it come October. They're going to try to find a way. But Supreme Court even said, no, pay her the money. He finally did. Took him 3 years. And there are still people going here and saying that it's all based off of our feelings. Make it make sense. Thank you guys for double tapping the screens. Get the likes up to 300K. Get the likes up to 300K. I'm not going to lie. I don't think we're going to do a restart. Hold on, someone in the request. I don't think we could do a restart.
Hello?
Have I spoken to you
Hello?
before?
No. I gotta remember your face.
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I couldn't.
Were you a minor?
No.
Are you a felon?
No.
So why couldn't you?
Because I wasn't old enough at the time.
So you were a fucking minor. That's what I said.
I'm not one now. Are you dumb?
No shit. Couldn't vote for Trump. Were you a minor? No. Were you a felon? No. I just wasn't old enough. You were a minor. That's what I said. What the fuck are we doing? Cooper, did you vote for Trump?
Hell yeah.
You said, are you, not were you? Oh.
I said, hell yeah.
Said you were a minor. You said you voted for Trump. Do you regret your vote?
Hell no.
Why is that?
Because he's still the better candidate. He's still upholding our values as a country.
What value is that?
Like mass deportations.
Mass deportation isn't an American value.
Or all the gay shit. The men and women sports.
Heterosexuality isn't an American value.
Yes, it is. Nuclear family.
No. All the things you mentioned have nothing to do with quote-unquote American values. They're not enshrined in our Constitution, Declaration of Independence, on the Statue of Liberty. They're just your feelings. That's just your ideology, your personal little tints of bigotry.
Well, it's Trump's ideology.
America.
It's Trump's ideology, which is why I voted for him.
Yeah, I'm aware of what Trump's ideology is. It's the complete opposite of American values.
But he was still, I mean, he had more experience than Kamala ever did.
What experience is that?
He already had 4 years as a president. We've seen what he did. And he was a businessman.
Doesn't have anything to do with his terrible policies. Experience doesn't equate to you're the better candidate, especially when your experience is faulty or flawed, particularly when you run off of or veering away drastically from some of the policies that people may have even favored.
He had the best economy.
No, he didn't.
From 2016 to 2020,
no, he didn't. Great. We saw the residual results of the Obama administration, and upon the implementation of Trump's policies, particularly in 2019, as early as 2018, mid-2018, some of those numbers fell off.
Bro, that's
Donald Trump's immigration policy came into fruition from 2018 to 2019, when migrant encounters doubled. He had to declare an emergency at the border in 2019. It was the pandemic that saved him. We also saw less deportations of violent criminals under his administration.
You do the same thing Obama did, but when Obama do it, you don't want to complain.
No, Donald Trump did not do the same thing Obama did. What did Obama do that Trump did?
Mass deportations, actually more.
Obama didn't do quote-unquote mass deportations, and Obama didn't violate the law.
He was securing our southern border.
Can you tell me what law ICE violated under the Obama administration? Can you tell me what Supreme Court ruling verifies that claim?
I gotta go look at it, but I can just tell you at the top of my head.
No, you can't tell me anything off the top of your head because there's nothing up there. I want you to tell me what Obama did the exact same as Donald Trump.
Deporting people back to where they came from.
Deporting people is just what we do. If you're not a citizen, you're liable to be deported. That's how that works.
That's what we're doing now.
Can you tell me what people under the Obama administration were killed unjustly by ICE, American citizens specifically? Can you tell me what people under the Obama administration had to go to the Supreme Court to be brought back to the United States because of wrongful deportation? Can you tell me what leftists under the Obama administration was feeling so I'm not justifying this, so radicalized to go and burn down ICE detention centers because of their family members that's in there being tortured? Can you tell me how any of that was happening under Obama?
They just weren't being reported on because it's Obama.
Incorrect. We literally have a report under the Obama administration showing that ICE agents were throwing themselves in front of vehicles to justify shooting at them. ICE misconduct is not new.
It kind of sounds like DLM riots in 2020, doesn't it?
ICE misconduct is not new. The president of the United States welcoming it is.
Wait, hold on. They do all these riots right now with ICE, but why didn't they do it under Obama? I don't see all these riots under Obama. BLM not under Obama. Burning down Minneapolis not under Obama. Know why? He's a black president, and they don't want to report on it. They want to report it on to Trump. They try to slander his name. You run with it. I mean, people like you believe that shit. But me, I believe the freedom of exposing people. So that's why everything that's on Truth Social.
W's in the chat to Manda for the $2 Venmo. This is for the last guest. Does this guy realize he sounds like a Nazi? Probably was, actually. Or would at least support what they did in 1930s to 40s Germany. Also, I can hear it in his voice that he's the type of guy who orders a Smex doll that looks like his mom. Fuck.
Probably looks like your mom.
W's in the chat to you. W's in the chat to you, Manda. What did I say about Obama and Trump and the difference in their immigration enforcement?
They did the exact same thing.
What did I say was the difference?
Something about some Supreme Court shit.
So how did they do the exact same thing if the Supreme Court ruled with Obama and ruled against Trump? You fucking dolt.
They both have the same ideas. Obama wanted to do what Trump
they don't both have the same ideas. They drastically have very different ideas in enforcement of immigration, as reflected in their numbers, in their directives, in their memos, and in their results. W's in the chat to the Wesley for the $5 super chat. This caller is stupid. That is all. Much love, Hector. Yeah. Thank you so much, Wesley. I appreciate your support. Guys, best way to do so is going to be supporting the links in the bio. Those of you who want to donate, Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo. Can you tell me when the Supreme Court under the Obama administration had to order for the Obama administration to bring back a migrant to the United States? Can you tell me when Obama violated a withholding of removing order? Can you tell me when courts ruled against their deportation because the Obama administration used them as a political tool for prosecution?
I gotta look. I don't remember.
You don't know. It's not that you don't remember. You don't know. You're just talking out of your ass.
I can see proof. I read shit.
No.
You don't.
You don't read a goddamn thing. I can assure
Let me
you.
ask.
Tell me the last thing you read. What's the last thing you read?
Article online.
What was the article?
Are you talking about politically or not politically?
The only one that matters to this conversation.
About BLM riots.
The last article you read was about BLM riots.
And Chicago killings and why black people are...
Yeah. So what's the last article? What did it say? The last article you read about BLM riots?
Some shit on Fox News. It was like an independent journalist.
Fox News is not independent, and it's also an entertainment network. It's Fox Entertainment.
They were comparing ICE to BLM.
Tell me what the article was.
I don't remember exactly. I just said it's comparing.
You
ICE
don't remember
to BLM.
exactly, but you read it? Do you often read things that you don't remember? Do you just read for fun and you can't retain any information?
I just read for fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't obsess over politics. That's not my personality.
I'm very aware of the fact that you're an absolute moron when it comes to political issues, which is exactly why your moronic self should fuck off. W's in the chat to Devin for the $2 super chat. I second Wesley. This guy is really fucking stupid. Yeah. Just some raging white kid who just wanted to talk. Just some raging white kid who wanted to yap. That's it. That's it. That boy can't read anything without pictures, which he would have confirmed himself, by the way, when he brought up Fox Entertainment. Also, what's this new thing about obsessing over politics? I've been hearing that a lot. I've been hearing people join political panels to talk to political commentators about politics and then tell the political commentator that they're obsessing.
Call from
Jerry.
Calling you on the line, did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did.
Do you regret your vote?
I would probably say so, yeah, but I wanted to kind of have a debate with you, and I was wondering, I just wanted to have
yes
one
or
question
no.
to ask you. How does it feel to have J.D. Vance's balls on your chin?
Brain dead? Empty-headed? Closeted gay? Empty-headed, brain dead, closeted homosexual, fascist. Those guys are all in the comment section, by the way. They're the ones who are chirping. They're the ones who are getting muted. That's all them. That's all them. With that voice not too closeted, damn. When the GOP in down, grinder goes down. Yeah, brain rot is another one of them. But here's the thing. If you say brain rot, would that not imply that there was a brain there to begin with?
call from.
Daquan?
To accept, press 1.
Call you on the line. Did you vote for Trump?
How's it feel to be stuck on a Democrat plantation, moron?
I win. I win. I win. I win. Thank you for that call. I appreciate you. I win. You know, you guys ever been in an argument with a significant other? You're in an argument with a significant other, and you know you're right. But you love this person, whatever. So you're going back and forth with them. And then the argument slowly shifts from what the topic is to some bullshit that happened like 6 weeks ago, right? But remember that time you left the toilet seat up 7 weeks ago? And then you're just sitting there like, what did it have to do with the fact that you ran the car through the garage? What are we doing? You guys ever been in an argument where somebody was just doing so horribly at defending their position till they just brought up some random shit? Right? Ladies, you're going back and forth with your man about him not cooking, him not cleaning, him not, handling his side of the bills, all this different stuff. And he just goes, I just don't feel seen. What? Nigga, what? That's what Trump supporters are doing right now. They've lost the plot, bro. They've lost the plot. They have absolutely nothing to argue. So now they're just lashing out and they're just going off saying random bullshit. Random bullshit. It's usually pointing out a pattern of behavior, i.e. not listening is not about being heard. Oh yeah. Mood said it's the and another thing. I don't argue with my pet boyfriends. I'm always right. Pet boyfriends is diabolical. Woo. W's in the chat to Jeffrey for the $2 Venmo. Joke's on him. Vance doesn't have any balls. That's a great point. That is a great point. I don't think he had balls when he got up on the Joe Rogan podcast and said, hey, yeah, we absolutely failed on the Epstein files. I don't think he had any balls when he couldn't own up to the fact that he called Donald Trump a Hitler in the past. I don't think he has any balls when you can knee tap your wife, but you got your hands all up and down Erica Kirk's body. You can give your wife a little there, but you look like you would take her. You know what? Let me not say that. That guy. Crazy. The two agents who murdered Alex Preddy are... Oh. So are we talking about based off the who fired the shots? Because there was more than two involved. So I guess you mean the two that would just fire the killing shots, maybe. That knee tap would have pissed me off. Bro, I'll be damned. I'll be damned if in a relationship with someone who does that shit to me in public. I'll be damned. Dylan, did you vote for... Yeah, wait, you did vote for Trump. Do you regret your vote now?
What you think, man?
I think the answer is no, but let's not, start off this conversation with me assuming what you think and who you are, because I don't think you're going to like my responses.
Quiet, piggy.
That's strike 3. Hector, how many people we talked to today? Hector 7. MAGA 0. Hector 7. MAGA 0. Those of you on the YouTube side, hit the like button on the stream if you're liking everything that we're doing here. Apologies, it's usually a little bit more lively, but the Trump supporters have absolutely lost their marbles today. But if you want to come back at a later date or watch some old streams of the new videos that I uploaded, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on notification bells to know every single time that I'm live afterwards. TikTokers, friendly reminder that you guys can also turn on your notification bells as well. I know TikTok has been weird with letting y'all know when I'm live. Another great way to get around that, on top of sending your daily heart meets and turning on the live notification option, is joining the Discord. Every single time I'm live, I tag everyone in the Discord to let them know. So that is another method you can use to get around the algo. Hector, you're not winning here. Sure, Johnny boy. Tell me what I lost. No problem. Just tell me what I lost. There's your motivation. 737-295-5321. Listen to me. The last time I lost big was 2024, sir. That was my candidate. America is losing now. America as a whole is losing now. Swinging in the air. You see, the air is not hard enough for them. They're knocking into their fucking dry boards, man. They're dry boards, and unfortunately, they're dogs. They're dry board, and unfortunately, they're dogs. What the dog do, as Erica would say. What the dog do? Oh, B. Guys, feel free to click on my name in the top left corner and knock out anything grayed out in the gift gallery. Let's knock out these roses. I think we are going to wrap it up here in like 5 minutes or less, because we're coming up on the 2.5 hour mark. And the message is clear. They cannot defend the indefensible, which is literally why I named this show, by the way. Remember when I started this back in January? Well, first off, we can go further back than that. We can go back to... Thank you, Naris, for the roses. I appreciate you. We can go back to 2024. 2024 all the way up until now. But that's going to be a little bit too harsh for them. Let's go back to January of 2025. No, excuse me. When did I start defending Indefensible? No, this year. January 2026. Just go back to January of 2026. My point stands every single time that there's more and more Trump supporters who are getting up off the MAGA plantation. There are more and more Trump supporters who do regret their vote. They're just showing it privately. We're seeing it in the pollings. We're seeing it amongst their family members. We're seeing it in the calls, the increased calls to the Republican senators, speaking out against provisions of the SAVE Act, speaking out against our unapologetic funding of Israel, so on, so forth. But Defend the Indefensible episode 1, way back in January, compared to Defend the Indefensible episode now, notice the difference. Notice the difference. I cannot wait for Democrats to sweep the House. Now, I don't believe the Senate is secure. Everyone who says that, I don't know why. Especially with the shakeup that we've had in Maine, and even Michigan to some degree. I don't think the Senate is secure. The House, yes. I'm not worried about the House. The Senate, that's going to be a tall order. I am not going to lie. But we know they're getting desperate because when Trump himself has to start taking personal shots at James Tallarico, when Trump himself has to start taking shots at James Tallarico, or Frico as they call him, they're getting desperate. They know what comes next if they lose. That's the entire reason. I would argue the predominant reason, on top of just shitting on black people, that they started this redistricting war. Republicans' policies are unpopular. They can't win fairly, so they have to suppress your vote. And they do it proudly. 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 User, shut up. I don't talk to Russian bots. All you bots in the comments, I have nothing to say to you. You guys literally have your scripts and your fucking $7 an hour. Get out of here. Reports today amongst MAGA voters, only 71% support him, down from 85%. Depending on the poll, you will find 66, 67%, depending on the poll. I've seen polls amongst solely Republicans down as low as 66% from what it used to be. I remember the strong 90% they had last year. For some time, they had a 90% poll. Nowhere fucking near that now. They're losing support. It's showing in their polling. And I don't care about Democratic polls, to be honest with you. Specifically, I don't care about Democratic polls under a time where they have no power to do shit. Arguing with me about sentiment amongst Democrats is irrelevant. For one, while I may call myself a Democrat, I'm more left than a Democrat. So them getting less polling versus, say, DSA candidates getting high amounts of praise is a good thing. Who cares? Secondly, if they can't stop half the shit Trump's up to, what do I care about their polling? And consumer sentiment, not consumer, sentiments amongst the base who believes that they have superpowers to just cut Trump out high and dry. The only poll Trump isn't afraid to see is at the club. And whatever ones he cites, the polls that Trump cites on the campaign, on these little rallies, on his little press briefings, the polls that he cites are so bad. He'll literally consistently say, I'm polling 90% here. I'm polling 90% here. These fuckers would go to like a red county in goddamn Kentucky. They would ask 30 people, what do you think about Trump? Them 30 people would be like, yeah, he's telling those damn niggas to get out of our cities. And he's getting those immigrants up in those detention centers. And he's fucking up, he's blowing up Iran. We love that. And then Trump will say that poll and he'd be like, look, I'm polling 99%. Okay. Remember when he said he's polling 99% in Israel? I will never forget that one. Remember when he said he was polling 99% in Israel? Dude said with his full chest, I think I may run for prime minister over there. I think I may run for prime minister over there. Expected. 99.2% is crazy. All right, y'all. Who are we going to raid? Let's see who's live. Let's see who's live. Ari. You guys on YouTube are going to go raid Ari, probably TikTok too. Sit right there. The second I end this live, it's going to automatically take you over there. So, appreciate the rest of you being here. To me, we've been live for 2.5 hours. There's no point in restarting now. That's a late restart. That's a late restart. And we are 40 minutes. You guys know my rule about 8 o'clock. We are 40 minutes over the time where I hate being live. Yeah, we're not doing a fucking restart. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Bro. YouTube, I already have it set to automatically take you to Ari's live, Mermaid Ari. You guys know what to do when you get over there. Make sure you say Hector Raid. Show her all the love. We appreciate you being here. Thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments, your subscriptions, your super chats, your super stickers, your memberships. All helps us do what we do here on a daily basis. I will see y'all tomorrow. It's probably too late to do it now. I'll tag everyone in the Discord tomorrow, and then I'll create the event in the morning for the movie night we're going to have Wednesday. Sister Act 1, Wednesday night. Sister Act Part 2 or 2, Thursday night. We're going to finally knock that out. You guys will have the event to RSVP to, and I'll catch y'all for